Sunshine as this Anzac appeal round continues at People First Stadium this afternoon with the Gold Coast Suns still licking their wounds after their first loss of the season last weekend to the Richmond Tigers, playing host to the visiting Sydney Swans, who are kind to say out of kilter so far in season 2025. Liam Flanagan here alongside Brad Seymour, Richard Champion, Simon Black for your call of this one this afternoon. It's the Ream Hot Water Preview. Hot water needs replacing. Go for one that's steady, hot and strong. Ask your plumber to install a Ream. Let's start with the three-time Premiership star, Brownlow medalist and all the rest. Simon Black, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Funners. Great to be with you, and expecting a fantastic contest this afternoon between these two sides. Obviously both coming off a loss last week, so great conditions and expecting a belter of a game.
Champs, we've got some formalities we'll get to shortly as part of this Anzac appeal round, but it's been a good round of footy thus far. There's been some dominant wins. Brisbane Lions, your old mob, with a big win yesterday over the Saints.
Yeah, the Pies were very good too against the Bombers. Anzac Day clash. It's a great round, isn't it? And no one does it better than the AFL. Hey guys, can I just quickly jump in before we get to this game? Very sad occasion. Over the last couple of days, I found out that you and my ex-coach Blackie, Robert Walls, former Carlton great, is very ill. He's got a rare form of leukemia. It's come back aggressively, and gave him a call a couple of days ago. It was the toughest call I've ever made to basically say goodbye. It was tough. The opening was okay, the middle stuff was okay, but to essentially say goodbye to someone who's not going to be here in a couple of weeks, for those who don't know, it was a bloody tough one. I've got a great deal of respect for him. He really appreciated the call. I know Lynch, you reached out to him yesterday as well. So if you're listening, Rob, you'll be much remembered, mate, and much respected always.
So the thoughts of and friends of Robert Walls and his family, our thoughts will be with you throughout today and the coming weeks, no doubt. Snapper, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, Flanners, gentlemen. Thoughts obviously with Robert and his family at this stage. But back here to People First Stadium, picture perfect, sunbathed as you mentioned, Flanners. An exciting era awaits the Gold Coast Suns. Second year under Damien Hardwick. They seem to bat deep within their midfield, and I think they could have their way with Sydney this afternoon.
This is the Triple M Footy Prime Time for Mitsubishi Heavy Industries Air Conditioners Australia. Put your trust in the experts in air. We'll get to the formalities once they do begin to take shape out on the ground there. I want to talk about Mac Andrew, because that has been the conversation leading into this game. We saw it a couple of weeks ago here against the Adelaide Crows. Siren sounds, next thing you know, Mac is right up in the grill of Riley Thilthorpe after that 1-point win. Then next weekend it continues, last weekend rather, it continued against the Tigers. He was into Tommy Lynch, he was into everybody. Damien Hardwick has come out and said, I'm not going to suppress this. 80% of the time he's going to do the right thing, 20% of the time he's going to step over the line. What do you think we see today, champs?
Yeah, very good. It's down here. You've almost stolen my thunder, Flanners. That was the first thing I was going to speak about. I want to see Mac Andrew get back and refocus on what he does best, and that is intercept marks, that is being a leader within his defensive unit, reading the play like he does well, and just doing his job, getting a fist to it, and not be up in the grill, as you mentioned. I mean, Thilthorpe would kick 5 goals, for goodness sake, on him. So, Mac, just you've signed a big multi-year, multi-million-dollar deal. It doesn't make you an automatic superstar. You could be, and I'm sure you will be, mate, but you've got to pull your head in and just do your job as a defensive part of the unit. So I hope he refocuses on that.
If you're the opposition, you'd be go stir him up, because he's a bit of a hothead. That's what you would be doing. So not necessarily his direct opponent, but if you're around his area, I'd be bloody giving him heaps of niggle, and he's proven he'll give away a free kick and do some silly things.
And the igniter in that usually is Tom Papley, who's not playing.
He's not there
this afternoon. But
he's the antagonist. Who
He's
takes on that role then, Snap?
I don't think anyone else in the Sydney forward half has that personality. And that's period.
Let's talk about the Sydney Swans forward line at the moment, because we saw against the game with Port Adelaide last week, something to half-time, it was 26 inside 50s for 2 goals. Seemingly nobody up forward could take a mark in there. What do you think the solutions are today? How will Dean Cox have them entering that forward 50?
Well, they've got to go short and create the angles. They can't just bomb it in there, because they're as vulnerable as side number 18 on the ladder at the moment. When they do bomb it in long and high, they have got to create fast ball, Forward of centre, they have got to create angles when they move the ball from half-back through the corridor and into the forward 50. That's the only way I think they can pierce this defence of the Gold Coast Suns, which is rapidly, in my opinion, developing into one of the best in the comp.
Francis get his chance again, kicked 3 goals last week. They kicked 5-8 in the last term last week, so they come good late in the game, but it was just all too late. But a lot of emphasis relies on Francis this afternoon to take some catches and kick some goals.
Both teams very inaccurate last week. Sydney kicked 10-17 for the game, and the Suns kicked 9-15. So these bit blustery conditions, we'll go down to Bell and see what is going on down there, but some bit tricky win today as well.
We are going to hand down to ground level very shortly. Kendall Gilding will be your MC for the Anzac Appeal observance ceremony that we're about to have down on the ground. Both sets of players taking their positions, standing across from one another on the Anzac Appeal logo, which is on both wings this afternoon. People First Stadium, as we said, the conditions could not be better for what is a wonderful round of football. We've got the bands out on the ground. We've got members of the Australian serving armed forces as well, plenty in attendance today. The flags flying at half-mast as Kendall Gilding approaches the microphone here at ground level. We'll hand it
The
down
Australian
to her.
Football League, the Gold Coast Suns and Sydney Swans invite you to join the coaches, players and umpires as we honour the Anzacs and all the men and women who have given their lives in service of their country. Our thoughts too are with those currently on active service, and we acknowledge all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who have served and are currently on active service also. If you are able, would you please stand and remove your hat for the Anzac observance and the catafalque party mounting of the guard.
Catafalque party, slow! Catafalque party, mark, time. Catafalque party, halt. Catafalque party, outwards, turn. Catafalque party, rest on.
We are joined today by the band of the 1st Regiment Royal Australian Artillery, led by the bandmaster, Warrant Officer Class 1 Michael Lee. Our drum major is Sergeant Rowan Chapman, our bugler is musician Akua Vanden Hooven, and our vocalist is Aisha Kingston Bull. Also joining us on this occasion is RSL Queensland Gold Coast District Deputy President and Mudgeeraba Robina RSL Sub-Branch President Darren Sapwell. I invite Darren forward to recite the ode.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
Catafalque party, attention! Catafalque party, present arms! Catafog Party, attention!
Lest we forget.
Would you please remain standing for the Australian National Anthem, performed by the band of the 1st Regiment Royal Australian Artillery and vocalist Aisha Kingston Bull.
Catafog Party, present arms!
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. With golden soil and wealth foretold, our home is good by sea. The land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Catafog Party, attention!
Thank you. Enjoy the game.
A ceremony.
Catafog Party, outwards! Turn!
A ceremony of remembrance beautifully observed by the good crowd in attendance as the players disperse and go continue their warm-ups. Well done to Kendall Gilding and all those involved with the on-ground activities there. Simon Blackbridge, your champion, Liam Flanagan, Brad Seymour, your call team for this one. Belinda Mellon, boundary side for Bob Jane Teamarts. We'll check in with B in a moment to get the subs, but the conditions could not be set up better for this one. Gents, as we see the teams going through their final preparations. Blackie, do you think the Suns get back on the winning horse? 4-1, it's still their best ever start to a regular season. You think they add win number 5 today?
I do. I mean, based on the 2024 Swans and what they are this year, I think the Suns do win at home. I don't think the Swans are playing good enough footy, and I think just the dominance of the midfield of that Suns is going to be too all-powering. And in terms of forward entries, I think the Suns will get that. And on the back of it, their efficiency forward compared to the Swans in recent times, I think the Suns will win today at home.
They've got a better forward line, I think. Blackie is spot on there. However, the Swannies have won, 4 of the last 5 games against the Gold Coast Suns, but the Suns have won 8 out of the last 10 here at home, so they do play better here. They are comfortable here. We're starting to see some wins away from home for them, which is fantastic, and I reckon that that loss last week where they were expected to win against the Tigers will really give them a kick up the butt, and I reckon they'll be back and refocused this week. A big opportunity to, as you said, be in the best position they've ever started a season with.
As we see James Rowbottom going to the middle to toss the coin with Noah Anderson, an emerging leader in the absence of Callum Mills this season, Snap?
Yeah, he's been sadly missed, Callum Mills, for the best part of 18 months, the Swans skipper, but Rowbottom, he's got a large task, him and his Sydney midfield, in front of them this afternoon.
All right, let's get down to Belinda Mellon, Bob Jane Teamarts sideline this afternoon. Good afternoon, B.
Hello, Flanners, and the Swans have just won the toss and are heading to the south end of the ground, which is to the right of your radio dial. There are dark clouds gathering down there, so although it's not forecast, we could be in for a shower. 28 degrees down here at boundary level, about 60% humidity, and that fluky wind that you were talking about, it died off when the last post rang out. It was quite eerie down here. Goosebumps as always as we look forward to this spectacular Anzac clash. The subs for today, Tom Hanley from the Swans, and for the Gold Coast, Connor Butterick. enjoy the clash, gentlemen.
Nice work, Beef. Bob Jones Team Marts. Bob Jones Team Marts have got great buy 3, get 1 free plus instant cashback deals. Call or shop online today. T's and C's do apply. Players heading to their positions. That is the end of the Triple M Footy prime time for Mitsubishi Heavy Industries Air Conditioners Australia. Put your trust in the experts in air. Players heading to their positions. Brad Seymour to take us into the bounce of this one. As been mentioned, the breeze has dropped. You could not ask for better conditions. There are some darker clouds lurking out to the west, which might make themselves known over the next couple of hours. But to get us underway, the ground looks great, the conditions are perfect, and we've got two teams very much hungry for a win on the Anzac Appeal round of footy.
The first of 3 matches this afternoon. The Anzac weekend of footy continues on your channel, Triple M. Don't go anywhere. The Suns chasing win number 5. And I guess for the visitors, they're chasing a little bit of respect this afternoon as their season very, very quickly dwindles away. They're all set. Round 8 for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks football. Perfect conditions at People First Stadium. Wits, Grundy to Rowbottom, speculative handball, follows up his handiwork. A little kick forward, Noble tracks it back. It gets to the back of the pack. Mac Andrews in a good position. He receives it from Weller. They work it by hand. Half-back flank now with Anderson. Back to Noble, who released towards the centre wing.
Big contest, centre wing. Blakey went up. Ball spills to the ground. Players set on top of it and will have a ball up just forward of the centre, favouring the Sydney Swans. Interested to see where James Jordan heads matchup-wise. He has been the padlock for this Sydney Swans team in terms of heading to the best midfielder of the opposition as Rowbottom gets the clearance. It's going to be marked defensive 50 by Powell, and they'll look to release to the outer side. Finds himself in some space, does Nick Holman, the runner on the wing. There's Bertie Ewell, he played on, shrugged the tackle, slipped high, holding the football, free kick Swans.
Yeah, Bice will be the recipient, I should say. So free kick just forward to centre wing. Roberts, he wants it lateral, not 15, play on to Rampy. Rampy a little forward handball, James Jordan involved, he sweeps it wide. They've worked it inside 50, hard against the boundary right, a little chipping ball towards goal. Noble gets back, hugs it to his chest, defensive goal square.
Umpire's just going to...
Oh, they're going to have a look at it.
Confer here just to make sure. It did look close to the line. It may have crossed, but we'll just wait and see on this one. Snapper.
Harvey Norman, April super deals. Shop TVs, vacuums, laptops, mobiles, furniture, bedding and more in store online. Harvey Norman, April super deals, best prices guaranteed.
I think they were just waiting to see whether he controlled it fully over the line. That's probably more so the case than back of the goal. It'll be a mark. Hey, good to see Nick Holman starting this week. He's been the sub the last couple of weeks. So as a player, you just want to be out there and start the game, and that's good news for him this afternoon.
Richard Champion, Simon Black, thank you to Triple M Seabass Super special comments this afternoon. Seabass Super making hard work pay off. So Mark's been awarded. And I'll choose the outer side as Noble takes a couple of leisurely bounces and gallops away long towards Mac Andrew. Can't complete the mark. That might have been a throw, not paid by the umpire down low, is it? Just free kick going to Mac Andrew, and he'll take the free kick just backward to centre wing.
Yeah, just a bit of trip. Free kick was tripping the legs. Play on.
Mac Andrew to take the free kick, right half back. Going to launch it to a dangerous spot. Jared Witts fights for the front spot. Milligan came through, big fist. Took Miller front and centre beautifully. Holman, ragdoll, tried to give it back to Miller. Heaney pursues him. Swans have numbers, but Took Miller beats them all. An outstanding moment from the former Sun skipper. Could set up the first goal of the game as Rao sends it inside forward 50. King! Oh, couldn't bring it down on the second bite. Clever from Long. Tapped it out loose. Created the opportunity for Weller. Now Ainsworth. Now Powell. Snap misses on goal for the Suns defender. Minor score. First one of the afternoon. One for the Suns. Swans yet to score. Triple M Bunnings trade scoreboard.
Right hands from the Suns midfield, wasn't it? Took Miller involved. Rao. Anderson as well. Geez, they're going to have to be on top of their game in Swans midfield today.
So Bice comes out of fullback, goes far and wide to McCartan, gathers it just inside the boundary line, goes up the line towards Heaney. And Bodie Ewan wearing him like a cheap suit, and the ball out of play, centre wing out of side.
Yeah, those three guys you just mentioned led the charge last week. Blackie, Miller 33 touches, Anderson 32 and Matty Rao 29.
So the Suns one behind, Sydney yet to score. Triple M Bunnings trade scoreboard. Throw in neutral territory, outer side of the ground. Comes forward, Miller leaves it behind. Coming through, trying to get it out was James Jordan. He was pinned in the tackle. We'll have a ball up centre wing.
Speaking of conditions here at People First Stadium this afternoon, there is a slight chance of a thunderstorm coming in towards the second half of this game as the Suns move it forward again to half forward. Ben Long shoveled the hand pass out, didn't find a teammate. Jordan wrapped up, sat upon, ball spills out, umpire calls play on. All this happening 70 metres from the Suns' goal as Rao just stepped out of a tackle inside 50. Reed caught behind Melton. Good mark to the Swans defenders.
Their pressure's good at the moment, Gold Coast Suns, but I'd like to see them just mix things up going inside 50.
So Lloyd and Blakey on the way out towards Haywood. He can't complete the mark. Will Powell, good defensives. Comes through to Campbell. Campbell, a little no-look, a handball to Francis. All happening at half-back. A little low ball towards half-forward. Francis will get it on the bounce again. Spinning one way, then the other. Draws a heavy crowd. Goes back to McLean via handball. He goes in forward, but he's turned it over. Graham, he's caught in a good tackle. Is that? Oh, that was hot.
It was quick, wasn't it?
McLean free kick, centre wing broadcast side.
He misses the kick in Chad Warner. He's got plenty of time to go and find it. Looks like he took his time with his contract negotiation, signed a nice new 2-year extension to stick around in Harbour City. Row bottom. 70 metres from home. No one stands the mark. He can take the distance if he wants. The goal square is empty. Goes to a pocket. Great kick over the back. And a free kick, in fact, is paid to Heaney. I thought he took the mark. The umpire's paid the free kick anyway. And Heaney will go back deep in the right forward pocket.
Yeah, we see him the Triple M Harvey North replay. Mick Holman, as he does, come across, flying across the pack and took out Heaney in pretty vigorous fashion. And Heaney, being a tough cookie that he is, gets up fine. But a free kick awarded to Isaac Heaney in the pocket here. Snapper around the corner, his left foot coming up.
He's opting for the left foot snap. You hear the umpire counting it down. Just caught the fat side of the footy and he's pushed it. So scores a level, 1 point apiece on the Triple M Bunnings Trade scoreboard. Early stages, first quarter.
That's his first blemish this year. He's kicked 6 straight prior to that.
So Anderson will share it with Collins. The bearded one gallops away. Drives it hard and wide towards centre wing, and Humphrey takes a good mark in front of Roberts. Turns and goes quickly. Quick ball inside 50 to King. And King marks unopposed, 45 from home.
What about that kick chance from Bailey Humphries? That was a 50-metre dart, and had to clear a couple of Swans defenders, and it did so beautifully to find big Benny King. And liking the way Benny King's coming up in the forwards,
you like that. You like that, don't you? And he does that. The kick was spot on.
So a chance against the breeze in this first term for Ben King. He'll have to kick it only 45 metres, not a difficult task. Kicked 18 so far this season. Drives it towards home. He loves it off the box. The Suns get there first for the afternoon. They're 1-1-7. Sydney are one behind on the Triple M Bunnings Trade scoreboard. Joined Bunnings Trade. Power pass to get dedicated support. Flexible credit. Faster shopping with a free power pass app.
Yeah, good stuff for Benny King. Just the one goal last week. He's got one already this afternoon. I think they'll be reliant on him to kick the 3 or 4, Blackie, to really make sure they get a grasp on this game. They've got a couple of smaller options, but I think they'll be pretty reliant on him to lead up, as you mentioned, create that space and the quick movement, enable them to do that. Sydney been able to get back earlier on in this first turn, but on that occasion moved it quickly and spotted him up.
Yeah, spot on the Harvey North replay, champs. The ability of just the fast ball movement. Carden, who's King's direct opponent, went up, slid up to take out another Suns opponent, but that left King free in the end, so he didn't make a great decision there, Paddy McCartney.
Best start to a season for Ben King's career so far in front of goal. Ball back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hotwater. Triple M rocks footy. 6 points the margin in favour of the home side. Jeffrey couldn't complete the mark at centre half forward for the Sydney Swans. Umpire blows his whistle and we'll have a ball up. Just keeping an eye on James Jordan. We know the defensive shutdown job he can do. Blake, he'll get you to keep an eye on who he is going to around these stoppages.
Forward 50 for the Swans. Warner hacks it forward to Laddams. Laddams was in front of Andrew, and he hugs it to his chest, 25 out directly in front.
That's the spot to be in front of McAndrew. He loves to play from behind and back himself, but he has been out-muscled and outgunned a few times this year. He just seems to be just giving him a little bit of space and trying to close quickly, but with a bigger opponent, he just struggles at times if the ball falls short.
Richard Champion for Seabass Super, making hard work pay off this afternoon. So Laddams now, 25 out directly in front, makes no mistake, scores a level. So goal for goal at the moment. 7 minutes played, first term, scores level, Triple M Bunnings Trade scoreboard.
Yeah, spot on, champs, isn't it? Just the ability to afford to play in front and react to that quick kick out of a stop is beautifully done. Looks like James Jordan's going to Noah Anderson. It's a little bit take your pick. And took Miller, Matty Rao, Anderson. He's decided to go to Anderson, but we'll see on the Harvey Norman replay. Beautiful, quick reaction time. Lovely quick clearance from Chad Warner. Didn't overplay, just got boot on the ball. And lovely little piece of play to get the ball quickly into Hayward.
Let's get down to Belinda Mellon quickly, champs, because just to get a sense of conditions now that this game is underway, Beat.
Possibly a bit warmer than players expected, boys. They just came off the ground, the Swans players, and asked the trainers to actually turn the fans on and got the sunscreen and the zinc out. It smeared it across their faces. Really, really muggy down here, as opposed to what the weather pattern is saying.
Nice work, B. Bob Jane teammates.
Isaac Heaney.
Free kick going to Isaac Heaney from the restart. 7 points apiece here, and the Swans with a bit of a roll on as Isaac Heaney plays on. Spearing pass inside forward. 50 McLean. And given a little one by Rioli on the way through.
Well, there wasn't much in that. We'll have a look at the replay. Dan Rioli can't believe his luck, but he just glanced him, I think, after he'd taken the mark, and that's what he'd been given the 54-second. Write this one down in the book.
Hayden McLean going to be marched to the goal line. Swans will get their second and take a 6-point lead. And as Champs perfectly described, Daniel Rioli with just a caress of the cheek, perhaps, after the mark was taken. That was enough for the umpire. Goal is through. Swans are in the lead, 2-1-13, the visitors, 1-1-7, the home side on the Triple M Bunnings Trade scoreboard. Join the Bunnings Trade Power Pass to get dedicated support, flexible credit and faster shopping with the free Power Pass app.
The Triple M Harvey Norman replay, Dan just having a chat to the umpire now saying, mate, I reckon that was a bit soft, and they're just pretty conscious of just clamping down really early on games at the moment. There's been a bit of toing and froing in some games already this week, Blackie, this round, and I reckon the umpires have been told that, guys, anything that's going to maybe create some issues out there, just jump on it really quickly.
A classy kick from Heaney, wasn't it? Just spotted really late in the piece, McLean, and lovely dart. Beautiful pass. Swans
by 6 for McDonald's and Rim Hot Water Triple M Rocks. Sunday afternoon football. Another free kick going to Sydney. It'll come back. Grundy will be the recipient. Centre circles. Pink boots this afternoon, drives it towards full forward. Collins comes with a defensive fist. Holman's back there, give it straight to Heaney. Good smother that came from Holman. Speculative ball at half forward for the Swans. Grundy comes through. Little elevated handball. Was that high? Wow, Corey, what a free kick. 48 from home.
That's ridiculous on the Harvey Norman replay. That's just a bump, just a pure bump.
Yeah, I think he played for it beautifully, Blackie. I reckon he threw his head back and made the most of it.
Well, that's a couple that have gone Sydney's way. Locals not overly impressed.
That is pretty bad.
Quick look at Triple M Harvey Norman depicts that exactly. Play on's the call. But Corey Warner will have a shot at goal. He'll let fly from about 48. Play on now's the call. Driving ball, right arm in the air. He's kicked it. Sydney have got 3. So against the tide and I guess some ticky-touch free kicks, Sydney get their third. They lead it by 12 on the Triple M Bunnings Trade scoreboard.
I'd be like Draymond Green out there if I was playing these days, Blackie. You know how Draymond goes off. I'd be doing my nut out there if I was a player and got a free kick played against me for something like that. I just couldn't control myself.
That one's just wrong. I mean, it's just a bump. Joel Jeffrey just put a good physical bump, nothing high in it. It just looked aggressive, didn't it? And the umpire got seduced by that, I would have thought. And yeah, look, a great example, I guess, of centre bounce clearances, the importance of the Swans, I should say. The Sydney Swans have kicked 2 goals out of centre bounce already. And the Suns got to get on top in this area.
Is it time to clamp down already, Blackie?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Triple M Red Z lending stats. So imagine Isaac Heaney's at the pointy end of the disposal tally at the moment, Blackie. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy, ball back in the middle.
There he is again.
Swans looking to continue on their merry way as Heaney feeds Jordan. Inside forward 50. Collins left McLean behind. The ball got out the back to Big Hayden though. Quick hands. Hayward. McInerney. Time for Lloyd. The little defender to assess his options, and a good mark on the goal line once more taken by John Noble, and I reckon we're going to have another scorer here. This one might have crept through for a behind. Triple M Harvey Norman replay.
Scores behind, please confirm.
Umpires exclusively mic'd up for Triple M. As we see the ball across the line, I think this one will be a behind for the Sydney Swans.
Just tell me again why it's reviewed if there's a definitive call, or was there not?
The goal umpire asked for him to check. Arms down.
Triple M Red Atlantic stats. Isaac Heaney, 3 touches at the moment, but they've all been important ones. Hayden McLean leading all comers, 5 touches at the moment.
I appreciate you doing Blackie's job.
That's right. Wasn't sure. Just thought I'd jump in during the break.
Yeah, nice work, gents. Red Z Lending Loans for the self-employed. REDZED.com.
Just like to share the work.
It's always a good man. Well, they don't just know.
Well, it's key defender behaviour. That's right. It's doing the unglamorous stuff.
Just looking after the flashy midfielders, I think.
Exactly.
Jeez, it's taken a long time, this review, by
Isn't it just?
Review complete.
Oh, hallelujah.
At this angle, we can see the ball is not controlled prior to crossing the back of the behind line.
Right.
Decision on the scoreboard.
So behind is confirmed. 3-2-20 now. The Swans with a 13-point lead over the Gold Coast Suns. We played 15 minutes. First term Triple M Bunny.
Still won't get any Brownlow votes though.
No. They're umpires' votes, mate. Don't worry about them. So Noble will bring it in from fullback.
Just punch the ball, champs. What are you going to do?
Play on.
Noble squeezes one wide to Jeffrey in the pocket.
Play on.
So they advance to the outer side. Nothing in the corridor, so he's got to go long up the line. Roberts sets himself well, and he was third man up and took a fine mark. So right next door to centre wing, right on the logo, he'll squeeze one to James Jordan.
Outside 5.
As Blackie mentioned, he's got the job on Noah Anderson, early stages first term. Called to play on now. He'll drive it forward and deep into the pocket. They get back there in numbers. The Suns, and it's Ethan Reid who sees it over the boundary line and will await a throw in. 15 played first term. It's the Swans by 13 points.
I got Heaney, Miller.
There's a lot of chat going on out there on the ground today.
Is that the umpire saying, I've got Heaney and Miller, as in they're keeping a close eye on them? Is that what I just heard?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a bit of physical altercation between the two of them in the last few minutes. Just keeping an eye on them. They're actually ripping to each other pretty well. And Miller's got that role on him when Heaney's playing the midfield.
He's done that previously, took Miller that role on Isaac Heaney to great effect.
Ball up, Anderson. Clearing kick from defensive 50 for the Suns. It's going to bobble in the middle of the ground. Swans have got numbers. Can they be clean with the football? Roberts just got the handball away. Inside forward 50 goes Pat. A magnificent mark for so many reasons. Back with the flight. Collins incoming. He was open, he was vulnerable, and he's come down and he'll kick for his first and a chance for the Swans' 4th in the first term.
Oh, the TV doesn't do that justice. Just the work rate from Heaney. He was a part of that stoppage in the forward pocket, and then he moved, identified the Swans wanted back about 80 metres out. Just his effort to get back and get some separation off Tuke Miller, who's running with him. Beautifully done. 25 out. Little angle. Isaac Heaney to give the Swans the perfect start to their visit to the Gold Coast. 4-2-26, the Sydney Swans, Gold Coast 1-1-7. Triple M Bunnings trade scoreboard 17.5 gone first term.
Now you're spot on, Blackie. He was very courageous, wasn't it? He knew there was contact coming too, and he just made sure that he leaped up, grabbed it at its highest point, and then collected on the way down. And most importantly, made sure he finished off. So great start to this game by Isaac Heaney, but you're right, out of the centre clearances, Blackie, they're getting smashed at the moment, the Gold Coast Suns. They really need to pick up in that area.
Some red Z Lenny stats for the Swans. McLean leading the way with 5, Heaney 4, Lloyd 4, and for the Suns, Noble 4, Anderson 4, and Will Power 3.
Red Z Lending Loans for the self-employed, REDZED.com.
Has your voice got lower in the last 6 months? Have you been doing some radio training?
Just going through puberty, I think. But thanks for noticing, champs. From McDonald's and Remote Water, Triple M Rocks footy, Sydney out of the guts again.
6-0 out of the middle, Swans.
Hewland, he gathers it and he goes to Noble. They just need to possess the footy here for a moment, you think. The Suns. So Ainsworth has it. Half back, he'll chip it back to Noble.
Back 2 metres.
So Noble holds up, half back flank. Margin stands at 19 points. 18 minutes played first term for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. So Noble, he'll kick towards half forward, but it's Warner. Well, he marked unopposed, didn't he? They've had quick footy. They've been able to do this thus far. It goes to Lloyd, who's spit it out wide, and now McInerney with the footy.
Outside 5 now.
Big Jared Witt stands the mark. You wonder whether Justin might run around the dinosaur.
Play on.
Sydney don't just want to bomb it in. This could
Risky
cost
kick,
them, though.
inboard, opportunity now. Rao saw Big Jared Witts and said, I'm not handballing to you. Came back corridor. Now it's Tuke Miller. To the pocket is the lead from Long. Free kick maybe, yes.
The back.
Rampy just got hands in the back. And Ben Long will go back to kick at the Suns' second for the afternoon. 40-45 out on a tightish angle from the right-hand side.
Been terrific, Benny Long, hasn't he? And you think playing against the old stalwart in Rampy this afternoon, he has to get on the move to be able to impact the game. He cannot engage his body.
It's been terrific, hasn't he? Kicked 13 goals for the year. It's been a great fill-it up there for Ben King, and he catches the eye of the kicker, as you say, Snapper, through his movement.
3 goals last week.
Damien Hardwick said he actually tried to get him to Richmond when he was with the Saints. Such a fan of the way he approaches his football. And I'll tell you what, he'd be a fan of that one. No, just missed to the right-hand side, minor score. So margin is 18 points on the Triple M Bunnings trade scoreboard. We've still got 8.5 left to play first term.
Sydney have been allowed to dictate on their terms at the moment because they're playing fast footy.
Yep.
Oh, so a mistake here at half-back. Ainsworth a chance, that's legged. He'll forward a little handball to Rogers. Rogers in the pocket. He'll squeeze one to Humphrey. Humphrey played on. Was that touched? He marked it in the goal square and played on. It's been given all clear. Goal to the Suns. They claw one back. 12 points to the death. And the Triple M Bunnings trade scoreboard. 2-2-14 the Suns. 4-2-26 Sydney.
It was a beautiful kick by Lizard out of full back, and Tommy McCartan just fumbled it last minute. I reckon he just took his eye off it. Here it is, Triple M Harvey Norman replay here, and he just jumped a little early at the footy and misjudged it. And a quick turnover happened, but he certainly should have grabbed that. And it doesn't take much these days with 2 class sides to make you pay. That's exactly what happened.
All the goals will be reviewed, of course, as Dane Rampy throws a half-hearted protest saying it was touched. Bailey Humphrey
Get one in the square.
probably didn't have to play on from the goal square. Could have gone back and just made everybody's lives a bit easier there.
Good, mate.
But the goal has been given the green light. The boy from Moe gets one on the board the afternoon. He set up the first with a beautiful 50-metre dart to Ben King, and now he's got one of his own. Ball back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream. Hot water, Triple M Rocks footy. 6 goals already in this first term.
Great chat.
What about the ruck work from Grundy? He found Chad Warner, who laid it on the deck. The ball didn't come back to him, though. And now it is the Suns to rebound to the outer side. Johnny Noble been everywhere. What an outstanding pickup he's been for the Gold Coast Suns. Anderson, the skipper, back to Noble. Launches it to centre half forward. No one there. Drops short. The funny bounce. Oh, Ben Long came in hard. Got to Roberts just in time, but the Swans with the football.
Yeah, Bice has got a little time. Lloyd and the old Stooges, the stalwarts combined. Lloyd and Rampy now to Ollie Florence, so he can go wide. And they're away. They can run by Cleary. Cleary looks up, a little jabbing ball towards half forward. Francis.
Got to get it on.
Francis has got a bit of time. He moves it quickly. Laddams marks in the pocket.
Yeah, spot on, Snapper. They're just moving the ball fast at every opportunity, aren't they? They've just been really clunky with their efficiency going forward in recent weeks, but you can see they're just trying to get that speed on the ball, flick the handball on when they can, and they're doing it really well, it must be said, to this point. Ball's been camped in their forward half too, champs. The pressure's been fantastic.
Bit of breeze out there, and if you're just off the mark a little bit, there's been some real crucial turnovers, and it's created scoring opportunities.
Simon Black, Richard Champion for Triple M Super special comments this afternoon. So Laddams for his second of the quarter. He's pushed it wide, and he's missed everything. Wow. From 30 metres out, he's missed everything. And it was a little fiddly one, but it wasn't that difficult. So
He's had a couple of shockers. He shanked one sideways there a couple of weeks ago.
Suns to bring it back in. The Swans, of course, missing both Joel Amati and Logan McDonald, who kicked 80 goals between them last season. Ball at right half forward for the Swans. Humphreys went in hard on Roberts, who's back on his feet. Ainsworth tried to walk through the pack, couldn't do it. Moving it forward is Reed. Jed Walter down to the ball, beats him. We'll have a boundary throw in left half forward. 6.5 left to play first term. The Swans jumped out of the blocks best after a sluggish start last week against Port Adelaide. They've started well. Dean Cox would be a happy man.
Yeah, just a bit too much dirty ball going forward of centre for the Suns. They're lacking efficiency at the moment. Sydney's pressure's been terrific at these early stages. So Jordan caught high, got away with it. Ainsworth a quick little give. Goes back and gets it again to Rao. Slick hands. Tuke Miller, centre wing, broadcast side. Driving ball to the pocket. A little bit of holding on. Wasn't paid by the umpire. Play on's the call. Bice tracks it back. Milliken. Oh, he rides the tackle. Bit of confidence from the big boy. Drops it on the right toe and squeezes a little one to Cleary in the pocket.
Just saw Matty Rao with a quick handball there, Blackie, but I don't think he's had much of the onion just yet. We'll get his Red Z blend in soon.
Had the 4 touches.
Down the line. Out of side, People First Stadium. Heaney out the back on the logos. Laddam's got separation on Collins. It's a foot race inside forward 50. Laddam tears it up and says, Chad, do the rest.
Wow.
Big new deal. Jeez. Big goal.
Good footy.
No one was chasing Chad Warner down with nothing but green grass in front of him. 5-2-32 the Swans, 2-2-14 the Gold Coast Suns in what's turning to be a shootout on the Triple M Bunnings Trade scoreboard in the first term.
Oh, we said this Suns midfield have been a red hot form. They're getting towed up at the moment. They're getting belted. They've been 0-7 out of the centre bounce. Heaney's kicked the goal. Warner's now kicked. That his second or first? Just his first. Yeah, they've been superb in the middle of the ground, dominating contested ball clearances. And most importantly, the scoreboard champs.
Yeah, and I don't think there is a breeze favouring that end, Blackie. But we'll go to Belinda soon to give us a bit of an idea. Is it worth 1 goal, 2 goals? But regardless, they are winning the footy and moving it quickly and moving it efficiently as well. So, yeah, as we mentioned before, Chatty Warner signed until 2027, and there was lots of rival clubs chasing him as well.
And for McDonald's Rim Hot Water Triple M Rocks footy, Sydney off to a flyer, 5-2 to 2-2.
Another free kick.
We enter red time, first term. Heaney squeezes one out to McInerney. They want quick ball. Puts it inside 50. No one can mark. Francis did well. Now Campbell, little forward handball to Corey Warner. He dances on a dime. Goes backwards to Lloyd. Lloyd will jab it to the pocket. Holman will come hard. Set on destruction. Left fist. Ball out of play, forward pocket for the Swans.
Their body language is good, the Swannies, aren't they? They know they're up on the scoreboard, and therefore you can afford to take a few more risks running forward, and that's what's working for them.
Boundary throw in. Swans forward 50. It's where most of this first quarter's been played.
Holding.
Free kick.
Arms around him.
Going the way of the Suns. Let's get down to Belinda Melton for Bob Jones team. It's be that breeze Snapper spoke of. How strong is it?
Yeah, you can see it in the flag, but from where I'm sitting, it wouldn't even mess Chance's hair up. So pretty negligible.
Thank God for that.
Oh, there's that much product in it. I don't know. It'd take another tropical cyclone to mess Chance's hair up.
Like Donald Trump, it doesn't move.
I think he goes to the same tanning joint. Mac Andrew down the line. Jed Walter to fly. Brings it forward. Tuke Miller fights for it. McInerney played for the free kick and got it.
Often you get a drive-by by Simon Black, but even Black is joined in.
Copped it from all sides there, chaps.
They're an easy target, Sally.
He thought he had the afternoon off those when Tom Rockcliffe wasn't rostered on. But
I do bring it upon myself.
So Rampy cuts through the back of defensive square, but he's turned it straight over to Witt. So Witt stands tall. They just need to hold the footy here for a minute.
Out, please.
Suns.
Well, they do, but they also need to move it quickly, Snapper, because this is why they haven't been getting scoring opportunities.
So Noble has it. He squeezes it to broadcast side. He sets a job for Holman, and Heaney worries him out of it. Ball out of play. So 5-2-32 Sydney. 2-2-14 the Suns. 27 gone at the first term from McDonald's Rim Hot Water. Triple M Rocks. Your Sunday football. The first of 3 games this afternoon. You can keep it locked in all afternoon via the Listener app. Witts tries to just tap it forward. Graham left it behind. Rowbottom did not. He forced it towards centre wing. McLean does battle. Well, that was clever but done by Collins. He pushed it towards Graham and Noble, and ball out of play again. Will await the throw in.
15-7 inside 50s, favouring the Swannies, of course.
Clearances, contest.
Yeah, the clearances 8-0 out of the centre bounce, Snapper, to the Swans. They've been superb. Contested possessions 31-23 in the Swans' favour as well.
you're talking about a Suns midfield that has the best stoppage player in the game in Matt Rao, and they have not won a centre clearance. As we get into the final 3.5 minutes of this one, that might be a free kick. Bailey Humphrey almost thrown into the fence by Ben Patton there. We'll have a boundary throw. Left half forward for the Suns. They'd love to pinch one in the dying 3 minutes of this first quarter. They trail by 18 points. It's down the right end of the field. They are kicking against the breeze in this first quarter as Grundy Stopped at 4. There's Matty Rao finally getting into the game. That'll be holding the football though. Rowbottom saddled him, rode him, earned the free kick for the Swans.
Don't see it holding the ball, Matty Rao often do you, but Rowbottom, we know, he's one of the best tacklers in the competition. Beautifully done.
This is a good kick too. He waits it to Florence centre wing now. He's got a little bit of grass in front of him. He takes that with a laconic bounce, driving ball laterally to McInerney, and McInerney will mark at 55. So he's just held up now. Suns look organised behind the footy, 1-on-1. They've got a couple extra backs. So McInerney now, he'll just chip it to the pocket. That man again, Heaney. He marks and he'll have a shot 45 out, 45-degree angle.
There's players that play a lot taller than their height, don't they, Blackie? And he is one of them. Link McCarthy's another one for Brisbane. They tend to leap well and grab the footy just when you don't think they're capable of taking them up.
He's just so athletic, isn't he? Just where he can jump on the head of Jared Witts. He's athletic. He's amazing.
He's one of the few Swans that have been actually in form so far this season for Sydney. He's been carrying this team for a little while. So a chance now. It's a fiddly one from the pocket, and he's narrow. Will extend the margin by one behind. We'll sit at 19 points. Triple M Bunnings trade scoreboard. 5-3 plays 2-2. Shadows of quarter time.
He started this game in the form that saw him as a Brownlow favourite last season.
Play on. You.
Moving it quickly though from the kick-in are the Suns. Anderson went to Noble. Noble at centre-half back's going to switch the play to the outer side. In some space, Lockie Weller, but nothing but Swans ahead of him.
Yeah, they're working hard defensively.
Lockie Weller plays on, centre wing, driving kick towards the 50-metre. Ben King caught behind. Blakey, easy mark. The Lizard pops up, and he'll look to wheel and go as the umpire calls him to play on.
Yeah, he goes wide. The alternate route opened up via Hayward. Hayward's going to turn it over, so the Suns have a chance. Rioli cut it off. Now he hits the ground running, takes off. One bounce, he'll drive it forward again. A high ball to the hot spot. Oh, Walter couldn't bring it down. He did everything but forces it forward. Rogers in the grass. Answorth has to give it up. A little forward handball. Grundy's allowed to come through. They can share it now. Campbell was clever to McCartan, and McCartan will squeeze it wide to McInerney.
They'll be able to possess the football here, the Swans. McInerney driving kick down the line to super sub Francis. Oh, McAndrew. Not sure. Must have been a free kick for front-on contact. He barely grazed Aaron Francis. But the free kick stands and the clock continues to kick. They go backwards. Patton inside his defensive 50 and Melican. The sign must be up on the Swans bench because they look content to possess the footy for the final 30-odd seconds of this term.
Yeah, so Rampy will go wider still, and now Bice can go. Runs, he's got a beautiful left foot, wasn't great on this occasion. Comes to Hayward front and square. Florent has to stand in the tackle. Able to release the ball to Corey Warner. They've got it to forward 50. Corey Warner falls over. Rioli does now. Little tap forward back looking for Collins. He left it behind. James Jordan round the bottom. They kicked 6 in a quarter, Sydney. Or was it touched?
McAndrew's insisting it was touched.
So they will review it. It's been called all clear. 6-3-39 as it stands. 2-2-14. Triple M Bunning straight scoreboard.
Oh, champs, this is the Swans of old, isn't it?
Yeah.
Their pressure on the opposition as we expect them from, I want to say, just 2024. The last 20 years, what a club they've been. But just this is what they're about. They defend really hard. They shut down the space of the opposition, and when they get it, they want to move the ball fast, doing that really well. We see here in the Harvey on replay, McAndrew believing he touched the ball. Let's see what the review says.
They're not going to be able to overturn that. It's too far out, I reckon, to adjudicate whether it's hit the hand. They'll have
getting
to
a look
really
now.
slow-mo it.
You're going to have to zoom in on the kick from James Jordan.
It's going to be a tough one.
Can't play that, can you?
I wouldn't have thought, Blackie.
10 seconds left on the clock before the quarter.
I reckon they're going to throw their hands in the air and say, "Buck it if I know, keep it going." I reckon that's pretty much what they'll say.
That's the technical term that comes out of the art.
I reckon that's how they roll up there, Blackie.
Well, that's how you roll, I see.
Get you in there.
They've got a button that says, "Yep, looks good," and another one that says, "Bugger."
Play on.
When did you take this tour of the arc?
I had to give them a few tips.
Yeah.
You know, just Australianise it a bit.
They're taking their time, champs. They haven't hit the bugger it button yet.
Come on, boys. We've had this chat.
How's Damien Hardwick going to address the troops conceding 6 goals to an average opposition to date?
Oh, they'll be spitting chips, wouldn't he? Absolutely spitting chips.
They can restart play, so the goal has been confirmed for James Jordan. Ball back in the middle.
The bugger button's been pressed.
Bugger button's been pressed.
And it's more the way they've been going about it. They've conceded 7 marks inside 50 at quarter time. It's been deplorable from the Suns defensively.
McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M Rocks footy, a 25-point lead to the Sydney Swans as Blakey marks the footy. Siren's going to sound as he kicks it to end the first term, where the Sydney Swans have dominated. Simon Black predicts Damien Hardwick to spit chips at quarter time, give a good old-fashioned rev up to his underperforming Suns side, who have got a mountain to climb now for the rest of the afternoon here on the Gold Coast. Quarter time, People First Stadium, 6-3-39 the Sydney Swans, 2-2-14 the Gold Coast Suns. For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M, Rocks footy.
That quarter for Bunnings Trade. Join Bunnings Trade Power Pass to get dedicated support, flexible credit and faster shopping with the free Power Pass app.
For McDonald's, Triple M rocks. Footy Mania. Macca's new McSmart meal is here. Get a cheeseburger, small fries and soft drink, plus your choice of side for just $6.95. T's and C's apply.
Triple M rocks footy in 3.5 minutes. 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 One minute. Seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
'Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
It's Triple M's Footy Mania.
This quarter for Titanium Caravans. Stay off-road and off-grid for longer with a luxurious Titanium Caravan. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
And the Sydney Swans have come to town and they have punched the Suns in the mouth with a 6-goal first quarter, 6-3-39. They've got a 25-point lead at the first break here. The Gold Coast Suns 2-2-14. Liam Flanagan, Brad Seymour, Richard Champion, Simon Black, your call team. Simon Black, you predicted Damien Hardwick to be spitting chips at quarter time. Let's go down to Belinda Mellon for Bob Jones Team Arts to see if any chips have been spit. B.
Well, I did notice that Damien Hardwick took about 5 minutes longer to come out into the ground than the rest of his assistant coaches. So possibly, speculatively, just to compose himself, keep his head and think about exactly what needs to be happened. I was watching very closely because it's always good to watch a little chip spit, but I did not see one. Interestingly, on the Swans bench, 2 doctors and a physio talking to Will Hayward, looking very closely behind his knee and calf area. He got quite a bit of treatment, so we'll be keeping a close eye on him this term.
Nice work there, B. Bob Jones Team Arts. They've got great buy 3 get 1 free plus instant cashback deals. Call or shop online today. T's and C's do apply. Damien Hardwick did seem very measured, Blackie. Champs at the quarter time huddle there.
Yeah, he tends to be. I saw the game in the Barossa when the Swannies took on North Melbourne, and it was a vast sort of looking at both groups there. That the coaches, how they go about it, but Dimmer does seem pretty measured and pretty controlled when he approaches them, regardless of what's happening on the scoreboard. So, I think he's matured a bit in that way that he doesn't sort of go mental. And it's really not going to change much. He just would have readdressed some issues. Probably the centre clearance is big time, Blackie, because I'm sure we'll get to those stats very soon. But if you watch Grundy on Big Witsy, he just doesn't let him jump at the ball. He's blocking his run and he's tapping it down beautifully to his on balls. You got some stats there?
Yeah, Witsy, we love him up here. Normally does a great job in the hit-outs advantage. Has done but Grundy's doing a superb job. We'll get some Red Z Lenny stats shortly, but it's been all the Swans to this point. They've been the dominant side by a mile.
Let's see if the quarter-time dialogue has any depth at all to it. We're underway again for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water Triple M Rocks footy. Humphrey tries to escape, but it will spill to the back to Patton. He wants to give it to Heaney, but it gave it to his back. Heaney, hands and knees, still able to distribute cleverly. Back to Patton, he can run. Crosses the logo, centre wing. Driving ball, no one can mark. Campbell found it in the grass, gave it away to Hewland. Hewland to Rioli, good smother, that came from Cleary. Putting the pressure on in the forward pocket, pushes it forward. Was he held without it? Yes, he was. He'll get a free kick at forward pocket.
Yeah, held there by, I think it was Odie Hewland in the end. Played it really well, tapped it out in front of himself and then got the jumper pulled. So gets the free kick here. He's going to kick right in the boundary line, the forward right pocket. It's going to be a hell of a kick with this breeze.
Yet to kick a goal, the young man. The Sydney product. So Caden Cleary with the footy. He'll go the banana. A little narrow and a minor score. So margin stands at 26 points. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Stay off-road, off-grid for longer with luxurious Titanium Caravans. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
And if you are just joining in on the call, the Sydney Swans with a 6-goal first term. They are kicking with the breeze, so we'll have a better picture at the main break as to how strong it is as the Suns attack the corridor. The kick in found Hewland. Rioli took Miller, little awareness. Shoveled a handball away late. But the Swans have won the footy here. They link up by hands. James Jordan goes corridor, finds McInerney, centre half back. Called the play on, the kick not far enough to Roberts, goes wide. Big moment here as Holman fisted it away from Lloyd late half. The contest will have a boundary throw in, centre wing out aside People First Stadium.
Yeah, some Red Z Lenny stats at quarter time, plus 10 inside 50s to the Swans, plus 9 contested possessions, plus 7 clearances, and all of them coming from the centre bounce. 8-1 in the first quarter out of the centre bounce to the Swans.
It's a 322 game Hall of Famer Simon Black. Wants to see Bus Super on Triple M this afternoon. Holman a chance. Gets it in the grass. High ball up and under. Kick it out in the full centre wing. So Swans via Patton will get the free kick. They lead it by 26. Early minutes, a second term after a dominant first quarter where they kicked 6 goals to 2. So they hold it up at half-back now. A little bit of time to ponder. The stalwart and Rampy will drive it long down the wing.
Into that breeze. Witt's good position, possibly held on to. McAndrew going to get the football first. Take it on through the corridor. Rioli gave it back to McAndrew. Good switch on now. Noble in some space. We know he likes to run. He's got options further afield. Will Graham in some green grass. He finds him. Chest mark taken. So the local boy, Will Graham,
just slow to move it forward.
Another one of these Palm Beach Currumbin Lions. Piercing kick finds Hewlin. Over the back, it's Ethan Reid. He's out the back, should take the mark, doesn't. Front and centre from Long was superb. Snapping kick to a dangerous spot. No one got up and down for it. Ben King gets to the football. Handball back. Rioli, the former Tig, would love a little goal. Doesn't kick a lot. Dan Rioli stands up when the Suns need him most. 3-2-20. The margin cut back to an even 20 points on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Sydney Swans 6-4-4.
More predictable play from the Gold Coast Swans there, Blackie. They just took their time a little bit more patience, some running, some hard running to get to some spaces and some good positioning. The kick was good. It wasn't quite marked, but then Will Power was able to shark it just front and centre and put it to the hot spot, which is predictable to your teammates. So a lot better play.
It's been a couple of great acquisitions off their back line this year, isn't it? In Johnny Noble and Rioli, just the run and dash it's providing. And Snapper mentioned it, they're just too slow at the moment with their ball use, the Suns. They're not through the middle of the ground here, getting held up, allowing the Swans to set up behind. And I'd just love to see them have a bit more dare the way they move the ball, the Suns.
Class is permanent, isn't it? It's one thing that he has for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Tuke Miller to Matty Rowell. They're getting busy now. Rowell jams it in towards full forward. No one can take the mark. A little forward handball. Flanders haven't called his name too often this afternoon. Spills to Florent. Florent jams it out wide. Jordan versus Noble. Noble, good tackle. Flanders. Now it's Anderson. Anderson, a little handball. Back to Bodie Hewlin. This happening on centre wing broadcast side. They can share it, and he jams it little forward one to Will Powell, and Powell will mark about 80 from home.
Still 2 kicks out. It's all one-on-ones inside forward 50. Does Powell back in his forwards. Sends it long, sends it high. King couldn't bring it down. The boy from Bowie. Bailey's got 2. The Humphrey be there. Little bit of a celebration too. Bailey Humphrey makes it 2 on the bounce for the Gold Coast Suns, and in the blink of an eye, 14 points is the margin on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Oh, they got some threats up forward now, champs, haven't they? Bailey Humphrey's been one of them. We see on the Triple M Harvard on replay. Suns put the ball at a really good spot at the top of the goal square, and Bailey Humphrey's just talking about perfect positioning as a rover, front and centre. Ball came to him and didn't have much time to get rid of it. He kicked it beautifully, but lovely piece of crumbing. His opponent couldn't do much about it.
What's the little signal there?
The horns.
The horns?
You mess with the bull, champs, you know what you get.
That's what happens. You mentioned Johnny Noble everywhere. 13 touches at the moment. Isaac Henny 10. They're your 2 best ball winners so far on the paddock out there for Triple M Red Z Lending Stats.
Richard Champion, Simon Black for Seabus Super this afternoon for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. So a couple.
They're starting to go their way now.
And Witz will get the free kick. Miller rides shotgun. He gives it to him straight away. Fast ball movement. Driving ball full forward. King sets himself. Ball off hands. Gets to the back. Long goes off the ground. Has a fresh air shot. So it'll be a minus score. So margin back to 13 points on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. 4-3 plays 6-4.
And suddenly we're starting to get a picture of how much this breeze is worth. It was a 6-goal first term to the Sydney Swans. And maybe we underestimated just how good those 2 goals were.
That's out the foot.
As the Lizard fails to keep it inside the field of play. So it'll be a free kick to the Gold Coast Suns. Mac Andrew to take it right on the interchange gate.
Ball is camped in the Suns forward half at the moment. They must harvest here.
Drives it in long and deep. Witt stuck the paw up. Dancing through was Graham. Tried to get it to Bailey Humphrey. Why wouldn't you? Ben King, shovel handball. Back to Graham. Here's the ball. Bailey wrapped up in a good tackle by Rampy. Spills out. Umpire lets it go on. We're still 20 metres out from the Swans goal. The Lizard, little flick pass. Found Roberts and he'll clear it in panic.
Yeah, the old torpedo out towards centre wing. It's a speculative one. Collins gets over to make it a 2-on-1. McLean arrives. Collins mops it up well. Rioli with the footy now. A little low ball towards Humphrey, the man. He marks on 50. He can go the distance.
Clubby could just get their snapper with this, with his best.
So he holds it up. He'll have to kick it from about 54. So already got one for the quarter. He also got one in the first term with Bailey Humphrey.
He's feeling himself, champs. He kicks this.
Yep.
Well, we asked if the dialogue Well, in fact, I asked if the dialogue had any depth to it at all at quarter time. They've responded clearly out of the middle, and they're giving their forwards an opportunity here. Humphrey a chance at his third. Plays on now. Driving ball will miss to the outer side, so margin back to 12 points. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard 4-4-28 the Suns. Sydney 6-4-40.
Starting to get a bit of belief now, the Suns. Their body language has really turned around since quarter time.
Chipping ball on the kick in. Blakey finds Rowbottom. Flanders chooses not to stand the mark. Called to play on. Rowbottom goes wide. Rioli to close the space. He's 2-on-1. Lloyd took the mark just inside the field of play. Right half back for the Swans. Kicking to the left of your radio dial. Kicking into the breeze this term. It looks like it's going to be one of those games.
See, it's gone wide and it's stagnant footy. Not best policy for the Swans at the moment. They go high and up and under towards half forward. Ball's in dispute. They all pile in. Will Powell did really well on his hands and knees. Spits out to Holman doing his best work across half back. Comes to Rogers. Rogers puts the afterburners on and squeezes it to Long at 55.
To the goal square he goes. Up and down. Good presence from the Swans defenders, and Blakey fists it through. He's just looks like he might have injured the thumb there. He's got up with a grimace. Triple M Harvey Norman replay.
Hayden McLean rolled his ankle at that contest as well, so got up a little ginger.
So Lloyd, the recipient in the back pocket. So if they want to go short and be precise, they've got to come back through the corridor. They've been forced wide again on this occasion. They go to centre wing. Collins stands tall and he marks in front of McLean.
Swans are just not allowed to use the ball fast at the moment. It's this second term. The Suns are defending really well, slowing them up, doing a great job.
Collins jabs it to Will Powell. He'll mark in front of Grundy. So lateral side of centre wing, right next door to the centre circles now. He'll go long and wide towards forward. That's a great mark from Witsy. Well, Blakey was the only one that flew in the contest, and the mitts were sticky from big Witsy.
They were indeed. He really come from nowhere, almost from the side of the pack, and I think it took a lot of players by surprise how quickly and how awkwardly that ball come in, and Witchy just read it best of anyone.
We love him up here in Queensland, champs, don't we?
He's a workhorse, man.
A bit underrated nationally. He's 12 hit-outs to advantage average per game, second in the competition. Does a great job in the ruck.
So Witt's a chance to get their third for the term, and he's hit the post.
He is a ruck man today.
They are threatening here, the Suns. They've drawn the margin back to 10 points. 6-4-40 Sydney, 4-6-30 the Suns. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
As Corey Warner just puts the footy down, the kick inside the corridor, doesn't carry into that breeze. Holman intercept mark. It's going to come back inside forward 50. Florence stands the mark on the logo.
Newland's on.
Holman going to send it into King direction. Witts up and down without the football. King wanted Graham to move forward for him. McInerney intercepted it high and wide, and there are 3 Gold Coast Suns and not a Swan in sight. Quick hand. Oh no! Chad popped up from nowhere. Chad's taken it. He's got 100 to go. No one in the goal square. He's munged it off his shin, and McAndrew will take the football.
Yeah, it was just a shank, wasn't it? So Andrew will mop it up from the full-back line. Goes wide. Oh, very beautifully was Jeffrey. Outpointed Corey Warner on that occasion. Has a bounce. Sells some candy over McInerney. Gives it to Flanders. Flanders jabs it down the line. But Milliken came hard. Appetite for destruction. Ball out of play. We'll get a throw in.
It's a real wind advantage, this ground, isn't it? When there's a northerly blow, and there's a strong northerly today with that open end of the stadium. It really is significant. You can see the Swans are struggling to get it over halfway at the moment, as the Suns did really in the first quarter.
Yeah, we might have underestimated it.
So it's about making hay while the wind blows here at People First Stadium this afternoon, as Flanders gets it back to Rao. Then Rao walks through the contest. U-turn. Wobbly kick, Heaney to intercept. The corridor is where he goes. Francis, nothing ahead of him. It's a foot race. McAndrew v Hayden McLean. Francis says, I'm going to back in my boy. What about the pull of the kick? So Braden Campbell, who marks 40 out. Not much angle to speak of.
Chatty Warner was on the drive-by, one in the handball, could have given it, but probably smart move to go back and take your time. It's goals are really going to be the premium at this end by the looks.
When you kick the ball like Braden Campbell, I think you're entitled to have a set shot from this distance.
Gee, it was a good hit coming in, wasn't it?
Hayden McLean and Mac Andrew were making the fat side lead for Aaron Francis, and he saw Braden Campbell lead in out of the corner of his eye. He pulled the kick, and now for a valuable goal against the breeze. Got it.
Finger straight up.
Loved it from the moment it left the boot. One against the Tide for the Sydney Swans. 7-4-46. They stretch the margin back out to 16 points over the Gold Coast Suns. 4-6-30. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Stay off-road and off-grid for longer with a luxurious Titanium Caravan. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
Yeah, really important goal from the Swans there. It's been all the Suns to start this second quarter. I reckon that is one of the best kicks I've seen for the year. That was absolutely fantastic to find Braden Campbell. As you said, Flan, there's a lot of chaos ahead of the ball. He identified where that space was, and he just forced Campbell to run into it about 35 metres. Yeah, who kicked that footy from the middle?
Aaron Francis.
Yeah, beautiful kick.
So Carlton Geelong to follow this match. Hawthorn West Coast will bookend the Anzac round end of footy on Triple M this afternoon. So the Swans get one against the Tide. And from McDonald's and Rim Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. Beautiful afternoon for it on the Gold Coast. Ethan Reid in the ruck, taps it forward. Rowell set upon, has to release it. Rowe. Well, Rowbottom's been terrific this afternoon thus far. Wants to move it quickly, squeezes it to James Jordan. He's 60 from home. Kicking into a stiff breeze. In this quarter, the Swans, he'll go to the pocket. No one can mark. Ball gets to the back. Collins should get there first. He does. Squeezes a little handball to Andrew. Andrew walks over the line and will get a throw in. 7-4-46 Sydney. 4-6-30 Gold Coast on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Just confirm who you've got.
Andy Rao doing his best. Well, he can work in there, but Noah Anderson a bit down at the moment. We'll get his stats soon, Blackie.
10 minutes left to go in the second quarter as Noble puts it out of bounds on the full. Good pressure coming from Braden Campbell there. Free kick to be taken by Jake Lloyd. 70 from home on the boundary.
Yes.
Just seeing a bit of running repairs being done on Mick Blakey. That big contest down the other end. Look to jagged his thumb. We'll get down to Belinda Mellon when we can. Lloyd to bring it in. Going to let the breeze just fade it out across the face of goal. Laddams couldn't complete the mark. Minor score. Swans 7-5-47. Suns 4-6-30 on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Bob Jane Teamarts will stand by and get an update from B on Nick Blakey when we can.
Bob Jane Teamarts have a great buy 3, get 1 free plus instant cashback deals. Call or shop online today. T's and C's apply. As the Suns driving ball, they choose broadcast side. McLean, he was up, but Milliken will take a fine mark in front of Walter End. So Milliken it is. He'll squeeze it to Corey Warner. So Corey Warner's got it, and they go backwards. So Swans have the footy centre wing broadcast side. He'll kick it to Rampy. They'll squeeze right up here, the Swans defence. Everyone is in the forward half of the ground. Rampy now forced to go long and up the line. Drives it. Mac Andrews in a good position. One grab, couldn't complete the mark. A little handball over from Cleary. Corey Warner, Chad Warner. Oh, great smother. Noble did his best work down low. Puts Chad Warner in a good tackle. Well done, Noble. And we'll get a ball up in the forward pocket for the Swans.
There's some red Lenny stats. Anderson and Rao, only 6 and 7 touches respectively between those two.
Haywood, quick kick around the body, dangerous spot. Francis v. Mac Andrew. Bodie Yulin came out strong. Big tackle laid by Cleary, and we'll have a ball up.
Good footy.
30 metres out from the Swans' goal. Bit of territory for the Swans midway through. Nice tap backwards from McLean, but only Suns waiting down. Ainsworth to Flanders. Flanders, pressure comes, puts it out in front of Anderson, who's pursued by Campbell. Good tackle laid. Anderson gets it back and we'll have a ball up on the 50-metre arc. Bob Jane Teamarts B, what's the Nick Blakey latest?
Yeah, he's had his right thumb strapped. I didn't know lizards had thumbs, but anyway, it looks like he's just jarred it a little bit. He's pretty keen to get back on this for sure.
No thumbs, no ears, B.
A very long neck, though.
So Rowbottom goes towards the pocket and Collins will diffuse that forward thrust. Ball out of play, will wait for the throw in. 7-5-47 the Swans. They lead the Suns 4-6-30 after a 6-goal-2 first term. And a scintillating start by the visitors. 17 played second term for McDonald's and Rim Hot Water. Triple M rocks your Sunday afternoon football. McLean taps it forward. Goes a second time. Chad Warner! Oh, from the pocket on the left side, if you don't mind. Sydney have got their 8. 8-5-53 the Swans, 4-6-30 the Suns. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Oh, brilliant piece of play. Just, if you can get near a tally to watch this one, what a beautiful piece of stoppage you see here on the Harvey Norman replay. Chad Warner running towards the boundary, snaps from probably about 3 or 4 metres inside the boundary on his non-preferred foot. Nonetheless, Flanners, that was just magnificent piece of play, absolute class, and I've been calling for him to have a bit of a bigger impact today, because I don't reckon he's been at his best so far this season. He's been down on what I expect. I know he's been playing forward a bit, but he needs to get more ball in his hand more regularly. But today, this afternoon, he's got his run and his dash back. He's hit the scoreboard a couple of times now, and he looks really threatening every time he gets it. This Swans midfield really, really on top. Noah Anderson's been tagged by James Jordan. Matty Rao has had 1 clearance for the game. He averages 9 per game. So the Swans that through the middle are doing a superb job.
Ball back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. The 2 quick goals to start this second term by the Suns have been wiped out by a couple in reply from the Sydney Swans, and the margin is 23 points.
It's a really important goal for Sydney, wasn't it? I mean, 4 goals up now. If the Suns had kicked one, it's only 2 in it.
Free kick going to Witts out of the ruck. Laddams just held on to him. Spreading quickly as Ainsworth. 75 from home. Space to lead inside forward 50. The kick was just a little floaty for Anderson. Gave the spoil an opportunity from Roberts, who did so. Corey Warner, dance step inside, goes back to Heaney, was everywhere in the first quarter. Roberts, down the line, good lead comes from Francis, and again, nothing but space ahead of him. We know the vision is working for this young man. Super sub last week, 3 goals in that second half. He goes corridor and finds Rowbottom.
Yeah, Rowbottom smack battle in the middle of the ground, goes out wide. He's got Lloyd. Lloyd will stop and ponder. Florent makes good position, but he ignores him. He's 55 from home.
Play on.
Chooses just to set this up right to the goal square. The big boys are there. Grundy can't mark. Gets to the front. Gets the crumbs. It comes backwards to Campbell. Campbell a little chip towards Jordan. Good defensive spoil from Miller. And then he's off to the races. Flanders a little forward handball. It was errant. It went to grass. Sydney hover. Bice is there. Tries to fish it out. Coming through Jordan. Back to Campbell. He'll get his left side. Squeezes it back to Francis at true centre half forward.
60 from home. Looks inside forward 50. Mac Andrew and Adams engage. Francis goes wide, finds Rampy. The left footer sees the Heaney-Hewlin matchup, loved it. Oh, mark dropped. We all had it down as a mark to Isaac, and he spilled it at the final moment as Witts puts boot to ball. Clearing kick. Will Graham in the wrestle, pushed out of it by Roberts. Here's Blakey, the lizard. Thumb patched up inside forward 50. Campbell couldn't take it. Cleary weighted down. Dance one way, then the other. Campbell with the bend out! Party tricks for the Sydney Swans. Braden Campbell's got his second. And Damien Hardwick could burn holes through the camera with the look he just gave it. 9-5-59 the Swans, 4-6-30 the Gold Coast Suns. The visitors putting the home side to the sword on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Well, it's the law of averages. You pump it inside your 50 enough, Blackie, and you're going to get opportunities for shots on goal, and they've just kept doing that. Francis has been the instigator on probably 2 or 3 occasions in this term, just belting it in and just caressing it in as well, giving his players the opportunity. Heaney probably should have marked the one only 15 seconds before that. He just dropped it last minute, but gee, they're giving their forwards plenty of opportunity to kick on goal, and they are streaking away here.
He's threatening, isn't he, Isaac? He's doing it in the middle, and then when he goes forward, as soon as they identify Isaac Heaney with a one-on-one, they go to him to try and give him that opportunity. So we're back in the middle. Sydney push it out to 29 points for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks football. The Suns will go forward. Anderson a forward handball. Gets it to true centre half forward. He was clean down low, McInerney. He gave it to Bice. He's caught in a good tackle. Pressure from both sides is good. Pushing it forward was Witts. McInerney goes back in. Just tries to get a kick towards centre wing. Holding free kick. Sydney free kick.
Patton takes it. Heaney runs forward for him. Big moment, big contest. Power committed, so too did Heaney. The ball at centre half forward for the Swans. Patton walks through, gave it to Grundy. Spin move from the big ruckman. The handball didn't come off though. And now it's Noble for the Suns, and they need a response. Miller to Witts, to Rao, hunted down by Jordan. The pressure was outstanding from the padlock, and he might have just opened up the field up the other way.
They can go quickly here. Rowbottom uses the strapped up Lizard on the way out. Lizard just jabs one wide. and Corey Warner has the ball. So Witts gets back in a great position. He's about 45, 50 metres straight down the line of this one. He should contest this ball. Corey Warner drives it to the pocket. Campbell can't mark. Witts was front and square, actually. Now we use Hewland and now Jeffrey on the way out. Jeffrey kicks it towards centre wing. Ethan Reid with a fumble. Humphrey burrows in, can't fish it out, and we'll get a ball up centre wing broadcast side. 9-5, 59 the Swans. They lead the Suns 4-6-30, and we've travelled 23 second turn.
Sydney's pressure is elite at the moment. Lots of chase downs, lots of harassment.
They've come to play this afternoon, have the Sydney Swans. Richard Champion on the Triple M Seawell Super Special comments this afternoon. Kick inside forward 50 to nobody. Hewland had all day. Spilled the mark. Makes amends late. Made a mess of it though as Noble slips the tackle from Will Hayward.
He's been their best today. Noble for the Suns.
Holman gives it back to Johnny Noble, the former Pie. Kick down the line. Jed Walter, I reckon that's his first touch of the Sherrin. With 4.5 to go in the second quarter, Blackie.
Yep, first touch.
Has not seen much of it. Goes inside forward 50. King with a juggler.
Good catch.
He'll back himself in, Ben King. Kicked the first one of the game. The Suns need him here though. He's kicking from 45. He's up against the boundary. Non-preferred side for the right footer, but the breeze should move it back towards the goal post. He'll need to start this one out to the left and let the breeze ride it back in. Ben King. 19 goals for the season thus far. Sets it out there. Breeze doesn't want to bring it back far enough. Free kick's being picked out.
Shepherd.
Jed Walter, I think.
Fans make it sound like it's going to the Suns. It is. Jed Walter, who wouldn't have been able to draw you a picture of a footy so far this afternoon, could be handed a goal.
Stay there. That's your line. Time back. Stay here. That's your line.
Free kick's been paid on the goal line. He's been forced back on a tight angle. He'll go with the right foot snap. Big Jed, big goal. 5-6-36. The margin back to 23 points. Sydney Swans 9-5-59. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
It was a big goal for the Suns, wasn't it? The Suns started this second term and were so dominant for the first 10 minutes, and it's all been the Swans since. But yeah, big goal there from Jed Walter. As you mentioned, Funners hasn't been involved much this afternoon, but we see on the Harvey Norman replay, geez, he milks it for all it's worth, Jams.
Yeah, that's maybe an evener upper from the first term we saw, but
that is a Keanu Reeves stunt double from the Matrix.
Wow, he did milk that for all it was worth. Blackie, you're spot on. It was a good pick up there. Look, an important one just to stay in touch before half time. They needed that, so they can whack another one on the board just before the big break. It'll be comfortable. If you're within a couple of goals in this day and age of footy, it's okay as long as you're. As long as your plays are going okay.
23 points the diff now for McDonald's and Rimbolt Water, Triple M Rocks, footy, red time, second term.
Matty Rao there has not had a clearance for the game. Average is 9, has not had one. Roe Bottoms had 7 before half time for the Swans. Been superb.
Simon Black, Triple M Red Z lending stats. A lot of players around the footy. Gold Coast free kick. Big Witsy has it. Driving ball, doesn't stuff around, jams it to a dangerous spot. Milliken at the back, Rampy, caught in a good tackle, burrowing through was Humphrey, he's already got a few to his name. Cleary back there did really well, he was clean, gave it to Milliken, and he'll kick it out on the full. So the Suns pressing hard here, and it'll be a free kick to that man, Johnny Noble.
Put on the line.
2:45 left to go in this second term, 23 points the margin. As you've mentioned, champs, if they could be within 3 goals at the main break, Damien Hardwick could be a much happier fella. Inside forward 50, Noble goes with the kick. Oh, free kick going to Jed Walter. Another one. He's been unsighted for the first.
What can I do?
Lewis Milliken asking the question, what can I do? And the answer is, don't hold on to his arm, Lewis. Jed Walter will go back and kick this one from 15 out. Not much angle to speak of. For 2 in a minute.
Here it is here, Triple M, Harvey Norman replay. He did just clasp his left arm, didn't he, and just kept it down by his side so he couldn't get both up at the footy.
Stand for me.
What can I do? Just don't hold.
Don't hold on to his arm, Lewis. Jed Walters got 2, and he's feeling it. The local boy from Palm Beach, Currumbin. He's going to be the face of this club in years to come, and he's got a very important second goal late in the second quarter here. Margin now back to just 17 points on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Yeah, defensive 50 free kicks, they kill you, don't they? The Swans were right on top, and Melican giving away a couple of free kicks in the last couple of minutes to Walter, who has not been side up until that point. So momentum back in the Suns' favour all of a sudden.
He wasn't just holding on, he was clinging to it like a koala to a gum tree.
Just was not allowing that arm to come anywhere near laterally, was he?
I might have a laugh about that on Monday, Louis Melican and his mates. So the Suns get a couple back. They've kicked 4 goals to 3 in this term to draw the margin back to 17 points. 9-5 Sydney. They lead the Suns 6-6 as we approach half-time for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water Triple M Rock Sunday football. Bathed in sunlight this afternoon. And I'll recall that one. Just a quick look on what's happened so far in round 7. Melbourne by 20 points thanks to Choice Hotels. Collingwood, they belted Essendon. Freo, Brisbane, Port and the Western Bulldogs, your other winners thus far.
Umpire throws it up. Duke Miller does really well. Fought against Heaney and Warner. He might be in trouble here though. He's jumped on top of the football and Grundy sat upon him. Umpire says we'll throw it up again. Inside the final 2 minutes here in the first half. A 6-goal first term to the Sydney Swans have set them up. The Suns have fought back late. 15 played on. Good tap down. Haywood inside forward 50. Collins and McLean will race the share into the boundary line, and the boundary line wins out. Boundary throw and inside the Swans forward 50.
So latter stages, second term.
Peter, Jared.
Sydney a chance here against the tide. Throw in forward 50. About 35 out from their goal. Laddams pushes it forward. Humphrey was clever. Bullocked his way through and gave it to Rioli via hand. Wellock chimes into lender hand. Gives it back to Rioli. Running off half back. He can go for the second bounce. He does. Cuts back in. He's got Weller riding shotgun. Weller a little forward handball. Misses Powell. Rampy's there for the Swans. He's got aided by Melican and they can return serve by Chad Warner. Chad Warner jabs one towards Grundy. Humphrey got a fist in. Speculative ball half forward against the boundary line. Rioli tracks it back. And the ball goes out of play. Doesn't know they've kept it in. Florent, Heaney involved one way then the other. A little forward handball was like a 9-9. It came to McInerney. McInerney jams it to a dangerous spot. Collins will mark unopposed in the goal square.
Just a poor kick from McInerney coming in, wasn't it? Just kicked it a metre out. Needed to be the top of the square to give his forwards a chance.
17 points the margin. 40 seconds left to play. Collins. How attacking will the Suns be late in this quarter as Flanders kicks a wobbly one. Doesn't get through. McCartan marks. Just seeing Noah Anderson back play. Looks to have either slipped over or been dropped. Hobbling. Ben Patton has the football. 20 seconds left. He's going to drop it to a dangerous spot. It's going to land 15 out from goal. Heaney rose up, almost got out the back to Laddams. Suns need to be clean and not let go of it. Witts, Rioli, Weller sends it long.
Yeah, long ball. It's a one-on-one. Long. Rampy did really well. Slick little handball to McCartan. Back to Rampy. And they can just ease the pressure valve here as the siren sounds as a circuit breaker for half-time, and the Swans will take a 17-point lead into the main break. 9-5, 59 Sydney, 6-6, 42 the Suns. Richard Champion, Simon Black with their half-time analysis after this short break for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rock Football.
That quarter for Titanium Caravans. Stay off-road and off-grid for longer with a luxurious Titanium Caravan. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
For Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks.
Footy Mania.
Hot water needs replacing? Go for one that's steady, hot and strong. Ask your plumber to install a Ream.
Triple M rocks footy in 3.5 minutes. 2 minutes. One minute. Thirty seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
Uncover well-kept secrets with listeners' lineup of investigative podcasts. Download the free Listener app and search Uncover.
Hey there, it's Stephen Zoyce with you. 4 goals from James Harms has seen the Bulldogs crunch the Giants in Canberra overnight. The visitors coming away with a 32-point win at Manuka Oval, courtesy of a 5-0-0 third term. The forward has told Nine the belief to contend is well and truly there.
We had a fair few injuries at the start of the year, but to be able to get the win last night, I feel like our season's really going well and anything's possible really.
Meanwhile, Hawks assistant David Hale says they're taking nothing for granted today as they gear up to face West Coast at Marvel, telling Seven they can't be complacent.
Whoever you play against, you want to impose your brand of football on them. So whether that's West Coast or whether that's Geelong last week, you know, every week you want to play your brand of football.
26 degrees at People First Stadium on the Gold Coast at half-time between the Suns and Swans as Triple M rocks footy.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
It's Triple M's
Footy Mania! This halftime break for Specsavers Audiology. Rediscover the joy of everyday sounds with a Specsavers hearing expert today.
Half-time on the Glitter Strip. The Anzac appeal round continues with the Sydney Swans visiting the Gold Coast Suns. The Suns came into this game after their first loss of the season against the Richmond Tigers last week. Dimo said they took a step backwards and that toughness is measured in how hard you put your head over the footy. And I'm not sure he'd be too pleased with the effort so far of his Chargers at halftime. They trail by 17 points. The Sydney Swans 9-5-59 lead the Gold Coast Suns at 6-6-42. Liam Flanagan, Simon Black, Richard Champion, Brad Seymour, your call team, Belinda Mellon for Bob Jones teammates down on the boundary. This is the halftime break for Specsavers Audiology. Specsavers Audiology rediscovered the joy of everyday sounds with a Specsavers hearing expert today. Simon Black, the numbers. I mean, it's a damning story if you're a Suns midfielder this afternoon.
Yeah, it sure is. The Red Z lending stats, some of the key ones, inside 50s, all the Swans favour, plus 11 there for inside 50s, plus 7 clearances. The big one is the centre bounce clearances, plus 8 to the Swans in that area. They've been so dominant. Kicked 3 goals out of stoppage, have the Swans for the afternoon. But look at the critical stats. There's much wanted, much spoken about Suns midfield. There's been 3 clearances between Miller, Rao and Anderson. Matty Rao hasn't had a clearance to half-time chance, and Anderson's had 1. Miller a couple. Quite amazing. Rowbottom for the Swans has got 7. Warner 4. Heaney 4. They've been absolutely brilliant through the middle of the ground. Coming up here, there's no doubt the midfield of the Swans were set for a big challenge. They knew it was going to be a big challenge, and they've certainly delivered to half-time. And really that second term, the Suns started well, and then the Swans came right back into a couple of beautiful goals. What a great goal from Chad Warner. That snap in the pocket there was amazing, but just a couple of those cheap free kicks from who was it from Maligan, I should say, for the Swans in late in that second term. That really cost them, but the Swans no doubt been the better side so far, but the Suns are hanging in there.
Well, Matty Rao, he has tried to bust through the packs probably 2 or 3 occasions, but Rowbottom's been onto him, Blackie. He's tackled him well. He got pinged once for holding the ball, 2 ball ups, so he's attempting to get that ball out for a few clearances, but just unable to, because the pressure from the Sydney Swans midfielders in particular has been elite. Right across the ground, they've been dominant, but 2 late goals to Jed Walter has just got them back in touch at half time. So it's not all lost yet for the Gold Coast Suns. They just need to improve in a few areas. They did get a few more hit outs in that second quarter, but you're right, it just hasn't gone to advantage, and they're still dominating in those centre clearances. So all in all, they're on top at the moment, but this game far from over.
This is the halftime break for Specsavers Audiology. Specsavers Audiology, rediscover the joy of everyday sounds with the Specsavers hearing expert. Today we know that the Sydney Swans side, look, Dean Cox, first year in charge, taking over from John Longmire, and what an outstanding tenure it was under Horse for the Sydney Swans. But with Dean Cox now in charge, it's been a rocky start on the injury front. Obviously no Callum Mills, and Tom Papley I think is probably an underestimated out of his side, the energy that he brings to them, and they have other injuries as well. They're missing some tall timber up forward, but seemingly the return to form of that midfield team, both the Warners and Heaney and Florent, they're starting to get some of that grunt on ball work that saw them get to a grand final last year.
Yeah, no question. That's a real reliance on that midfield brigade to really drive them out of there, and they've done that beautifully this afternoon. This Suns midfield, maybe the most spoken about midfield in the competition. Start this year, they've been had a great first 5 or 6 weeks of the year, but today They've had it handed to them by a desperate, hungry, old school Swan side, wasn't it? A lot of people starting to doubt the Bloods culture of the Swans in recent times. They're just not defending the way that we know them. But today they've really put the clamps on this Suns midfield in particular and been super impressive.
Now, speaking of old school, we know the game has more technology than it's ever had before introduced to it, and technology, they're trying to make the game better, they're trying to improve things, and the ARC, the review system, the score review is one of those new pieces of technology that has been introduced, although Champs has a unique take on it, and today's Amy Clanger, when clangers happen, it's lucky you're with Amy, can only go to one man.
We see here in the Harvey Norman replay, McAndrew believing he touched the ball. Let's see what the review says.
They're not going to be able to overturn that. It's too far out, I reckon. It's going to be a tough one.
Can't play that, can you?
I wouldn't have thought, Blackie. I reckon they're going to throw their hands in the air and say, "Bucket if I know, keep it going." I reckon that's pretty much what they'll say.
That's the technical term that comes out of the ARC.
I reckon that's how they roll up there, Blackie.
Well, that's how you roll, RC.
They've got a button that says, "Yep, looks good," another one that says, "Bugger it." They're taking their time, Champs. They haven't hit the bugger it button yet.
Come on, boys.
They can restart play, so the goal has been confirmed for James Jordan. Ball back in the middle.
The bugger it button's been pressed.
Bugger it button's been pressed. The bugger it button, Champs.
Yeah, well, it's fine to have all the technology, but it's still operated by humans. So
Is that the button you used to press sometimes when you'd be going up against Plugger or Dunstall or Ablett or one of those blokes? You found yourself standing on the mud. Bugger it.
That's pretty much what happens. You throw the hands in the air and say, "What can I do about that?" Pretty much.
Very nice, the Amy Clanger here. Choice Hotels around the grounds. Choice Hotels get you more for your money, so you can check into more. Get the lowest price guaranteed when you book direct at choicehotels.com. We've got an exciting second half on the way here, but some of the results thus far in the round, the Anzac Appeal round, obviously it kicked off back on, what was it, Thursday night? Feels like a lifetime ago, really. Kicked off on Thursday night when the Richmond couldn't get up for a back-to-back wins. They went down by 20 points against the D's. Collingwood triumphed in the traditional Anzac fixture by 41 points over the Bombers. Freo, good win over the Adelaide Crows. They got up by 18 points. The Lions put the Saints to the sword with a 45-point win at Marvel Stadium on Saturday afternoon. Port was just fall over the line against the Kangaroos by 9 points. And last night in the nation's capital, it was the Bulldogs who were super impressive with a 113-point win over the GWS Giants, 81 points. I mean, all the talk about Marcus Bontempelli, but geez, you'd love to play footy with Tom Liberatore, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we spoke about him off air, and he's just a real tiger, isn't he? He's not much of him, and he's not He's not a class player, but he's just a goer. And you would have him in. He'd be one of the first picked, I reckon, every week.
All right, well, we might take a break here. It's half-time at People First Stadium, the Anzac appeal round. It is the Sydney Swans who have a 17-point lead, 59 plays 42 over the Gold Coast Suns. On the other side of the break, we'll get down to Belinda Mellon for Bob Jane T-Marts, because word coming out of the Swans room that they have activated their sub. There's already an injury in the Swans camp. We'll get B to give us all the details on that one after the break. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
That halftime break for Specsavers Audiology. Rediscover the joy of everyday sounds with a Specsavers hearing expert today.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's, Triple M rocks Footy Mania.
Triple M rocks footy in 3.5 minutes. Minutes. 2 minutes. One minute. Thirty seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
It's Triple M's Footy Mania!
This quarter for Beacon Trade, they've got the downlights, fans and switches. Whatever the project, they've got you covered. Beacon Trade, let's make light work.
The sun is shining at People First Stadium at half-time here as both teams back out on the park, and the Swans lead it by 17 points. 9-5-59 Sydney, 6-6-42. The Suns, an entertaining first half. I turn to you, Richard Champion, Simon Black. Two areas that Dean Cox, when he took over this team, put on the table. One was contest and the other one was defence. and they're going to live and die by that because he went public with it. To date, they've been pretty poor at it, but today, against quality opposition on the Gold Coast, they've been pretty bloody good.
They sure have, yeah. They've started in the middle of the ground, hasn't it? They're pressure through the middle of the ground. Row bottom again. It hasn't allowed Matty Rao one clearance at this point. Anderson's getting sat on by James Jordan, but all over the ground, their defensive setup, and even when the Swans go forward, the ability to react and set up behind the ball champ has been superb today. And then when the Suns get the ball, the pressure that they're under has been very, very impressive from the Swans. So, Dean Cox no doubt would be very glad with the way things are at half time. I think he probably would have thought he could have got another couple of goal leads at half time snapper. I reckon he'd be a little bit disappointed in that. But all in all, they've been clearly the best side based on their contest and defensive work to this point of the game.
The Suns will be kicking into the breeze to the northern end of the ground in this third term. Now, the first 10 minutes of this quarter will be so telling. If the Swans can be nullified down the scoring end that it's been, they might be okay by the last term. But if they get on top and kick another 3 or 4 in this term, early in particular, they'll be up against it, the Suns.
And to your point, Snapper, around Dean Cox coming in, contest and defensive part being focused. I mean, that's been the Bloods, hasn't it? That's been there. That's what they've been about for, I would say, 20, 30 years plus, longer than that, I guess. But that's been missing, hasn't it? And that's been really, I guess, disappointing at this point for the Swans. But it's been really clear and evident it's there today, and it's been started through the middle of the ground.
All right. Flann, as you mentioned, the Swans want me a man down just before the break to Belinda Mellon for Bob Jane T-Marts. Bob Jane T-Marts have great buy 3, get 1 free, plus instant cashback deals. Call or shop online today. T's and C's apply. Bell.
Gentlemen, Tom Hanley emerged from the halftime break a little earlier than his teammates, did some kick-throughs with Brett Kirk warmed up. That is because he has been activated. As you mentioned, the sub comes into the game. Ben Patton has a calf injury and he is out due to that calf problem. Connor Butterick, the Suns sub, is yet to come into the game. So the Suns are keeping their sub dry. The Swans have injected Tom Hanley into the game.
All right, nice work, B. So Patton out, Hanley in. Suns yet to use Connor Budrick, their sub this quarter, all thanks to Beacon Trade. While you're backing your footy team, Beacon Trade's got your next project covered. Fans, downlights for any install, plus a massive range of lighting and even free lighting design services to help nail those big jobs. Back yourself with the best lighting and electrical for residential jobs. Beacon Trade, let's make light work. Players back out in the positions. 59 plays 42. The Swans have come to town looking to upset this. Well, it's a fortress here at People First Stadium. I can't remember the last time the Swans lost one here. Maybe it'll be today. Let's get things underway with Brad Seymour in the third term.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rock Sunday Football. The first of 3 this afternoon. You can listen to it all via the Listener app. So Anderson caught a good tackle from Warner. So they've been hot on Anderson and Rowell thus far this afternoon. They've nullified their influence to date. Ball spits out. Anderson again. Row bottom on him. Good tackle. Holding the man. That'll come back. It'll be a Humphrey free kick, I think.
And they need to move the ball quickly, even up into the breeze. They need to grab it and go.
So he'll chip it. It's a good one too. Turning quickly. Driving the ball to a dangerous spot. King elevates, can't take the mark. Front and square was Flanders, well around the body. Will it get there? It holds up.
Jeez, that breeze, look at that, hold that footy up.
It's a minor score for the Suns. They move to 6-7, 43 Swans. 9-5, 59, margin of 16 points. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
James Rowbottom, very sore after that stoppage. He's limping around. Expect him not to last long out there.
A little bit of a hitch in the giddy up. He's trying to run it out. Ball at left half back with Matty Roberts. Chips the ball wide. Jordan squares it up to Matty Roberts.
Outside 5.
Ease of exit from defensive 54. The Swans is... Oh no! Matty Roberts has given it up to the worst possible spot. Flanders, King got rid of his opponent, picked the footy up. Melican did really well, holding the football. Big moment for the Swans defender, early stages, third term.
Matty Roberts, just get to Lewis Melican and buy him a beer after the game, I think.
Absolutely.
After that one. So Lloyd will share it with Chad Warner, and they've worked it to half-back broadcast side. So 9-5 plays 6-7. Early exchanges, third term. So Chad Warner ambles away. He'll pull the kick laterally to Lloyd as they look to work it on the angle. Now Lloyd's turned it over. Straight to the skipper in Anderson. Anderson chips it to half forward. Holding on his long, turns quickly, chips it to King. He marks unopposed. 25 out directly in front.
And he made sure of the hands on that occasion, didn't he, Blackie? He watched it right into him. He had an opportunity before. And as we mentioned, pre the start of this third term, they need to score into this breeze early doors in this third term. So this is the ideal opportunity. And to your point before, Flanners, yeah, they've won 8 of their last 10 games here, the Suns, at People First Stadium. So it is a tough venue for other teams to win at.
So King, he'll fire from about 30 out for his second, put it in the book. So the Suns get the first of the second half. Margin comes back to 10 points. The Triple M Beacon Trade to scoreboard 7-7-49 the Suns, 9-5-59 the Swans.
Oh, three of the Suns' last 5 goals, 3 out of 5 have come from 2 from 2 cheap free kicks and a third there from Jake Lloyd, really basic under 11 skill era. So they can tidy those couple of things up. They're giving away a few goals too easily at the moment, the Swans. So the Suns are taking advantage of it.
Champs, where are you getting that stat from? 8 of the last 10.
Of their home games?
Yeah.
That's what I read.
Well, they didn't lose here last year. And they've only played here twice this year.
That's what I've got.
Oh, you've got the Darwin games in there for home games as
Yeah,
well.
but they didn't lose there either.
No, they didn't
lose a game at home last year. I don't know who's doing your stats, Champ.
Hang on, you're a bit harsh on our boy. Hang on.
Ball back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. That was the headline out of 2024 for the Gold Coast Suns. Undefeated at home. And they might be winning again. Jed Walter marks 30 out directly in front.
Yeah, nice centre clearance from the Gold Coast Suns there. Much needed. Been flogged down the middle up till half time. 11-3 in clearances out of the middle. But nice extrication there, and Matty Rao, who hasn't had a big afternoon to this point. Nice little left foot kick going for Benny King. The ball went over his head. And Jed Walter, the recipient, going to kick from about 30 metres out, pretty much straight in front.
Straight up and down, Lewis.
As Jed Walter walks in, I'd like to make a public apology to Richard Champion. Jed Walter's going to kick at number 3. Oh, he's pulled this one badly. As badly as I got that stat wrong. So the Boffins in the back have just told us that you're right. They finished the season with a loss to the Lions here and a loss to the D's here, Champs. You were spot on.
I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to...
I'll have a go at producer Tim for giving me the wrong information. Blame him.
And thank you for owning up.
Humility is good, RC. As Roberts, that's a better kick from him. Driving ball to centre wing with the win. Front square, Braden Campbell, Brody Ewing, good tackle.
I didn't realise you had humility, Flanners.
It's a shame we've already had the Amy Clanger too.
We'll find a way.
Make mistakes in the second half. That's what they say on the Triple M call box.
Grundy, stand balls along the line in front of the interchange box. We'll get a 3 in. 9-5 Sydney. 7 goals, 8 the Suns. King with the only goal of this second half thus far. We've travelled 5.5 minutes third term. And don't forget, Macca's new McSmart meal is here. Get a cheeseburger, small fries, soft drink, plus your choice of side for just $6.95. T's and C's apply.
Witsy takes it out of the ruck, sends it forward. Long, clever, kept it moving. Flanders,
and again.
Free kick going back to Ben Long.
He earned that, Flanders, didn't he? It was clever work, kept it in front of him. Second and third effort.
Tell you what, if they counted the BNF for the Gold Coast Suns early, Ben Long would be a real chance to win it. Free kick going against Ben King.
And Matty Roberts put himself in the hole, copped the heat, well done. So he stood there and then just squeezed a little under McCartan. They'll look to exit D50. They haven't done just yet, but Bice has got it.
Stay out.
Outer side of the ground. He doesn't like what he sees straight down the line, so they look to switch the play back to the broadcast side. Still on the last line of defence. Millican gets shut down by Benny Long. So this will nearly force a long ball. McCartan ambles away. A lazy sort of laconic bounce and then drives it towards half-back. McLean can't mark. Ball gets to the back. Collins. Campbell can keep it in. Can he? Yes, he can. No, he can't. So we'll get a throw in. Neutral territory. Centre wing broadcast side. Sydney 59. They lead the Suns 50 on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Interesting to see how this second half goes. If Sydney struggle to get some goals on the board, whether the carton will be sent forward again. It's happened a couple of times this season already.
Interesting dynamic going on at the stoppages. Jordan tries to get to Anderson. Anderson trying to go to Heaney. Witts tackles Grundy. Rao, head burrowed. Lockie Weller stands over the football, tackled by Robot, and will throw it up right on the Anzac Appeal Round logo. Centre wing, People First Stadium, bathed in sunshine as the shadows begin to stretch. Grundy dropped it into James Jordan's lap. Anderson got him. We'll have a ball up.
James Jordan now going to Matty Rao. Matty Rao hasn't had a clearance at this point of the game.
Ball elevates right on the logo. Witts can't get it forward. Rowbottom swoops on it. Rao gets him. Good tackle.
I would like to see Jakey Rogers just move forward and just a little quick legs around those contests when it falls to the ground. He's just been a bit quiet today.
So Flanders, a little forward handball, and that's the aforementioned Rogers. The swivel of the hips gets away from Roberts, driving ball towards half forward, long. 1-2 grabs, got it. Quick give to Flanders. Flanders outside of the boot, got clobbered in a tackle.
Downfield?
Yeah, it should be, and they'll go at Blakey. So, Jed, your kick. You heard it in the umpire's mic. Exclusively for Triple M footy, and Jed Walters will get a chance at his third from 30 out.
What's this on the Harvey Newman replay? Sam Flanders does a good job to make it as bad as it possibly can. Lifts his arm up to make sure that Blakey gets him high as he's kicking the footy. Very clever from Flanders.
So big Jed Walters, a bit going on at half forward between Rowell and Jordan as the chatter continues. But Jed Walters a chance to get it back to 3 points. 30 metres out, not much angle of it. Drives it home. He's got 3. Big boy Jed. Margin back to 3 points.
Well, this is exactly what Dimmer and his boys would have wanted up in the coach's box, Blackie, at the start to this third quarter, kicking against the breeze to get a couple of quick ones on the board, but just to get it over their opponents and actually put a little bit of doubt in their mind as to how they're going about it. Here it is here. Now that's not after the fact. I thought that would have been a free kick coming back because he got him just as he kicked it. A little bit fortunate to be paid down the field, I would have thought. Yes, the free kick was there, but I reckon it was within the play. So they were fortunate to have received that ball down the field another 30 metres.
Equals his career best in terms of goals in a single game. Jed Walter, he kicked 3 against the Crows earlier this year at this same venue.
Think about the 3 goals he's kicked today, all from free kicks.
Doesn't matter how you get them, no pictures on the scorecard, Simon Black. Call back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Mottwater, Triple M Box footy. That was a horrible bounce, probably should have come back. Sam Flanders starting to get busy in this one. Powell moved it to Rao. And there's Flanders again. Jeffrey, Weller, inside forward 50, the Suns go once more, it's a high ball. Ben King, Ben Long, lots of bends around. Here comes Matty Rao, let it get behind him. Will Powell just won't sit for him. Free kick paid. Advantage given.
Oh, look out.
Dan Rioli for number 2.
Wow.
Suns are in front. The Sydney Swans came out at half-time with a comfy 17-point lead, and that is gone. 9-8-62, the home side. Sydney 9-5-59, a 3-point lead to the Gold Coast Suns on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Now the old advantage, play onto advantage, and everyone stopped, and it was Rioli who was the one who picked it up and just took off straight away. Sydney a little bit slow there to react, and he ran through an open channel to goal and just really kicked one of the easiest goals he'll kick throughout his career. But the Swans this afternoon, I must say, have had some goals kicked against them from unlucky situations.
Well, in the blink of an eye, all of a sudden, Gold Coast Suns are in front. You would not have thought that midway through that second term.
It's a 25-point lead at quarter time, a 17-point lead at the main break, and that has been eroded. The Suns in front by 3 from McDonald's and Ream Mottwater. Triple M Rock Sunday footy. Chad Warner to escape from the middle. High ball towards half forward. And courage. Love that sort of stuff. 50 metres.
It's just all going their way, Snapper.
Here's a chance here. Didn't stand on the mark. He's going to get marched to true centre half forward. He can play quickly.
And now stand.
Hamley stands the mark. He'll go with a little low ball. And Ainsworth marks 45 out directly in front.
That's poor defence as well, Blackie, isn't it? They had a 50-metre advantage opportunity time-wise, Sydney, to man up and block some space, and they just failed to do it.
Chad.
Ainsworth a chance. Just the one goal thus far this season from his 4 matches. Usually an efficient player. He'll have to launch this about 52 metres. Called to play on. Driving ball, the wind holds it up, pushes it a little right. It's a minor score, so Suns extend the margin just to the 4-point range. 9-9-63 plays 9-5-59. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Swans. Again, just taking the eye off the footy from Bice. Big hit came from Nick Holman. He knows only one speed, and that is flat stick. McInerney turned it over in the corridor. Witts dropped the mark. Miller, quick little U-turn, dump kick to the pocket. Benlock has marked 40 out, tight angles.
Skill errors are becoming costly.
Sure are, Dave. Swans coughing the ball up time and again at the moment. Just also without much pressure around them too. They're getting the ball out to a bit of time and a bit of space, and they're just coughing the ball up, giving it back to the Suns all the time.
Ben Long.
It's enough, don't hold. Will.
The man stands the mark at 40. Hasn't given himself much of a run up here. It's
just keep an eye on
maybe a little more than a couple of steps for Ben Long. Sort of creeping in. 1, 2, let's fly.
Oh, what a kick.
Says that's all I need. The Suns are rolling. 10-9-69. A 10-point lead opens up over the Swans. 9-5-59. Triple M's Beacon Trade scoreboard. 11.5 left to play.
Well, when you're as good a kick as that, you know exactly what you need to do and what sort of run-up you need to just get comfortable. And he worked really hard to get to that space. And it was a perfect kick coming in, beautifully weighted. And he just knew he was in the right spot. He felt comfortable. He only went back, as you mentioned, probably 15 metres, Flanners, but you just have to get balanced. And these guys kick a footy 1,000 times a week these days, so you just need to be comfortable in your own ability.
It's all the Suns, isn't it? 4 goals, 3 to start this third quarter. Isaac Heaney's been off the ground the last 5 or 6 minutes, so he's rushed back out in the middle. Going to need the Swans midfield to lift straight away here.
Simon Black, Richard Champion, to see us Super making hard work pay off, so they'll get a rebalance. Just explain to me why they don't just throw it up, so this wouldn't happen.
Tradition.
Is that the reason?
I believe so.
So we're back underway. Miller, little dirty ball win, well done. Sweeping handball wide. Flanders with it, gives it to Jeffrey. Jeffrey in turn to Weller. Weller at half forward, spears it to a dangerous King. Going back courageously was Roberts.
Once again, courageously snapper.
So Roberts can repel. It's a 2-on-1. McAndrew stands underneath it. Cleary leaves it behind. Hamley, a little fumble, forward handball. Chatty Warner, he'll have to go up the chimney with this one. It's a high ball, speculative at best. McLean comes, had 1, 2 touches to it, can't grasp the footy, spills to Hamling, back to Caden Cleary. He has to go by hand, high pressure situation. Terrific smother, McAndrew. Ball out of play, forward 50 for the Swans.
Would you be happy to compromise and just do a bounce for the very first bounce of each quarter?
No, just throw it up.
No?
Just throw it up.
Any other options? Anything else on the table?
I think I'm out.
You conceded very easily.
Worst episode of Shark Tank ever. Boundary throw in. Swans forward 50.
No negotiating.
Going to have a ball up just inside the forward 50 arc. Maybe.
Locked out.
Just 1 to kick the game off? First quarter? No.
I'm backing out this way.
How many inside 50s have the Swannies had in this quarter, Simon Black? Triple M Red Z lending stats, because I don't feel like it's been down there much.
I've had 2 for the quarter.
It's coming back out. Free kick out of the ruck going to Ethan Reid.
10 for the Suns.
Red Z lending loans for the self-employed. REDZED.com. Ethan Reid's numbers while you're looking at the stats. Young player. Very much in his development phase, only his second season. How's he looking?
So Noble goes up the line to centre wing, and Milliken gets rid of Jed Walter takes a good defensive mark. He'll go lateral to the Lizard. And as B said, they haven't got many ears or thumbs, so he's okay. So he squeezes it to Roberts, and Roberts looks to exit D50 to Florent. He'll want the corridor. The Suns line up there to push him wide, and he goes that way to McInerney. It opens up to the outer side. He in turn goes to Corey Warner, and he'll want his left. He dabs it down the line, and Haywood takes the mark.
Outside 5, they're out.
Bit of possession football here. That's going to be a free kick. Yep. Oh, Corey Warner got suckered in.
And they're off to here.
Oh, Nick Holman played on. Haywood did really well on the mark. Now Holman's given one away. The Benny Hill music's playing. And away go the Swans. Chipping ball, Hanley, the sub, into the game at half-time. From 60, drops it to the pocket. Heaney went one-handed. Boundary line wins out. Throw in, Swans forward 50.
Belinda down on the boundaries just passed up some intel that Swans have just put the sign up, which would indicate that get a loose man down in defence to stop the rot. Good work down there,
Pete. The sign that shows that, Jack.
Number 31, she said, so I don't know what the relevance is.
They called Kirky to put on a Guernsey, have they?
30 plus one, it was.
Disputed ball, down low was Noble, he won a hard ball for his team.
Been terrific, leading possession, get her on the ground. This is 20th touch.
Hasn't he just? So Johnny Noble, a fine inclusion into this team.
Play on.
Called to play on now. He goes with an ambitious kick straight up the guts to Collins, and he'll get it back the old 1-2. Haywood let him run. That's not good defence out of forward 50. That's going to be cut off by Caden Cleary. So centre wing ball, Sydney have it. Broadcast side, he looks lateral and goes to Roberts. Roberts looks further lateral and goes back into true centre half back to Melican, and he's got McCartan as they advance to the outer side.
Lloyd, corridor ball.
Outside 5.
Footy with Bice. The mature age recruit, been good. Got a lot to smile about for the Sydney Swans so far this season, but Riley Bice has been a welcome addition.
Got to think their way through this. He's hemmed up on the boundary line 80 from home.
Play on.
Corey Warner.
Heads on.
Dump kick inside forward 50. There is an absolute nest of Suns and Swans players, and we're going to have a ball up 15 metres out from the Swannies goal.
Now you mentioned Ethan Reid. He's only had the 3 touches for the game, 1 kick to this point. Sydney had 7 marks inside 50 to quarter time. They've only had 1 since, so they've really dried up in that part of the game.
The Suns by 10 points. Sydney pressing hard here. McLean's handball was errant. Miller to cut it off. He gallops away. Fast-paced, driving towards Humphrey. Good mark. There's a one-on-one with Florent. He used his body.
He's had a couple of really important touches today, Humphrey.
It's an ample frame, isn't it, too? I like the way he goes about it. He'll drive it towards half forward. Blakey sets himself to fly. Can't take the mark. Bice at the back. He'll want to get the 1-2 with Melican. Melican fades to handball and then kicks it back towards centre wing. Humphrey and Florent go at it again. Humphrey wins it forward with a little handball. The Swans have the numbers via Corey Warner.
Clever.
Very well done from McLean. A little tap to Chad. Chad will want to get on his bike. One bounce. A little chipping ball towards half forward, and Francis marks at 50. Francis wants to turn. He wheels and goes from 55. Drives it towards goal. Be a minor score.
Good a piece of play for Napa, wasn't it? Just some speed on the ball from the Swans. They've been held up time and again, but just a little tap on there from McLean allowed some fast ball movement from his side. Really nice bit of play, but unfortunately for them, couldn't convert.
Just the one behind. Sydney 9-6 trail.
Outside 5.
The Suns 10-9.
Macca's new McSmart meal is here as well. Get a cheeseburger, small fries and soft drink plus your choice of side for just $6.95. T's and C's do apply.
Sounds like a terrific idea on the way home.
Sounds very McSmart, doesn't it? Miller
clever.
Gave it to Anderson, kept it moving forward. Jakey Rogers can't beat Jake Lloyd to the football. Oh, McInerney shrugged the tackle late. Diving attempted to smother from Miller affected it. Here come the Swans off half back. Joel Jeffrey, just a mongrel to centre half forward. Bailey Humphrey held front spot, won the free kick. Gets the footy, open 50, Ben Long darting into space. Jake Rogers near side. Bailey Humphrey says, don't worry, boys. I've got this! Bailey Humphrey just burst the Sherrin from 60. He's got 3, and and the margin is now 15 points in favour of the home side. 11-9-75 the Suns, 9-6-60 the Sydney Swans on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Well, we mentioned he's had a couple of important touches, Blackie, and no more important than that to put 6 points on the board. Look, he's roosted that from 60 out. He thought, shall I go for a short option? No, he pressed the bugger it button and I went straight at it himself. And what a launch. That's into the breeze, mind you.
Yeah, it's a hell of a kick.
Ominous signs for Sydney. They've conceded 5 goals in this term. They led it by 17 points to begin this third term. It's the Suns by 15 now on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. You've got downlights. Well, they've got it all really. Downlights, fans, switches, whatever the project, we've got you covered. Beacon Trade, let's make light work. So for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy, Sunday afternoon style. Witts taps it down beautifully to Toot Miller. He goes with an up and under ball. Walter came hard, couldn't complete the mark. Front and square, cleverly done. Back to Miller. Miller a little chipping ball. Hits the post. 11 goals, 10. 76 the Suns, 9-6, 60 Sydney. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Well, is it what Dimmer said at half-time? Is it just an attitude change? What is it that can turn a team around like this?
That's the million-dollar question, really. Although we know Damien Hardwick said in some non-PC terms that this team needed to grow up last year.
I'd like to see some contested ball numbers when you have a moment, Blackie, because they've dominated in and around contests.
I sure have. This third term alone, 22-13 in the Suns' favour, and Toot Miller's leading the way. He's at 8 touches, 3 clearances for this third term. He's been superb. They need a lift in the middle, and he's provided it.
Noah Anderson has the ball at centre half back. Finds Sam Collins, centre wing, outer side, chipping ball. Now Ainsworth has still at least 2 kicks from home for the Suns. Sam Flanders starting to get busy. Dropped the mark he probably should have taken. Now he's going to kick it to a dangerous spot. Ethan Reid got front spot. Where are the crummers for the Suns? The boundary line wins out. We'll have a throw in right forward pocket for the Gold Coast Suns, who lead it by 16 points with 5 minutes left to play in the third term.
The press has dropped off from Sydney. I mean, in the first half, if the Suns dropped a mark like that, they were onto it. And there was 2 onto 1, and there was just nowhere to be seen then. He had a chance to recover and get hold of the footy again.
It's the Suns by 16. Heaney, fullback, wins it front and square. Powell pursues him. He chooses broadcast side, drives it as far and wide as he can. There's a good pick up on the bounce from Hamling. Jakey Lloyd involved to Francis. He's got one option only. It's a low grass cutter towards Hayward. Jeffrey with the fist. Destructive it was, and ball out of play. Throw in the centre wing. So we await a throw in. Good crowd in this afternoon too. The first of 3 matches, don't forget. Triple M footy, Carlton Geelong to follow this match. Hawthorn West Coast will round out the Anzac weekend of footy, and you can listen to it all on the Listener app. Ball gets to the back. Look at Anderson charge through. He gets it forward. Flanders, if it sits for him, he's away. Jake Lloyd puts his frame in the way. Wins the ball back with Jordan. Jordan goes with an in-ball handball. It's going to spill to Rogers. Rogers darts away and finds the chest of Ethan Reid. And he could have handballed over the top to Jetty Walters, but he didn't. And he puts the mouth guard in the sock, 15 from home.
Oh, it's great pressure at the source from the Suns, and then just running in waves, aren't they? Just really forward momentum and just overwhelming this Swan side at the moment.
Ethan needs this for his confidence, I think. He's just been a bit fumbly today, just hasn't quite grasped the footy as he would have liked. His numbers probably aren't huge. Blackie, Ethan Reid for the Suns will get Triple M Red Z lendings after this kick.
Seabus Super, Richard Champion and Simon Black this afternoon. So Reid towards goal, he's pushed it. It's a minor score. 11-11, 77 the Suns, 9-6-60 the Swans. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Where's that landing stats? Ethan Reid just the 2 kicks and 2 handballs for the afternoon.
Shame he missed that one.
Just a second-year player, though. He, Jed Walter, Will Graham, Bailey Humphrey's only third season. Oh, no! Ability got ahead of ambition there for Riley Bice. He's turned it over from the kick-in. Pressure comes from the Suns forwards. Miller got to Florent. Should have been holding the football. Umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt. Bice to exit full defensive 50. Campbell releases McInerney, who has nothing but green grass in front of him. Decides not to take it on. Goes the handball in the middle. Campbell works with him. Ainsworth hasn't given up the chase. Never gave up on it, did Ben Ainsworth. Then it's a three-man tackle on Brodie Grundy.
That'll please Damien Hardwick. You got to love that sort of stuff. Gang tackle at half forward for the Suns. They help each other to their feet and they'll get the ball up. 11-11-77, the home side. 9-6-60, the Swans. Ball elevates at half forward for Sydney. It's repelled. Ewan did well. Scrubbing little ball towards Walter. Release the hands. That was clever. Now Jakey Rogers is riding shotgun with Took Miller. Will it set for Miller? It does now. Lloyd puts the pressure on, but Rogers gets the footy back. He stops. He props. He puts it to a dangerous spot. Reed can't mark. Down low is Rogers. And we'll have a ball up forward 50 for the Suns.
Just leave the football. Leave the football.
It was like when the kids take down Dad at Christmas when those three sons jumped on Brodie Grundy there. Ball up inside the Suns forward 50.
They really had no right to make it a stalemate, did they? Or even get close, but they just didn't give up on the chase.
Grundy and Witts inside forward 50. Lloyd went to ground for the Swans, not before he got rid of the footy to Bice. Clearing kick. Collins best position. Laddams wasn't even looking. Collins just popped it up. And it landed out of bounds. Boundary throwing just forward of centre favouring the Gold Coast Suns. They lead it by 17 points with 2 minutes left to play.
Triple M Red Z Lending stats. Red Z Lending loans for the self-employed. REDZED.com.
Leading the way snapper for the Suns is Johnny Noble with 22, Miller 17, Witts 17, and for the Swans, McInerney 21, Lloyd 20, and Roberts 19.
It's been a 34-point turnaround since we began this term. So it's been all the Suns. Comes to Miller one way, then the other, releases Rioli. Had a terrific afternoon, and it's a sizzling ball forward. And King grasped it, and he'll have a shot at goal 40 outs.
No, I was about to say, it's a big couple of minutes here left for this third term for the Swans. They look all at sea. It's all about the Suns. Their momentum looking very strong and powerful. 17-point margin at the moment. Can Benny King go back and make it 23 champs?
He's shooting at his third, Blackie. He's made the most of most opportunities so far today.
So to date, it's been a 5-goal to zip quarter from the home side. King towards goal. It looks good off the boot. It is good. King will celebrate with his third. The margin extends to 23 points and the Suns are in control at People First Stadium. 12 goals, 11.83. They lead the Swans 9-6-60 in the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Yeah, it's a big goal for the Suns. They've got the side with all the energy. The old man, old Lee Matthews saying, the old man at the back of the stand, what's his observation? Well, from mine here, champs, it's all the Suns. Their energy, their intent, their run and work for each other is fantastic. And the Sydney side, it's really, where's it going? They were the better side in the first half, but they don't seem like they've got any energy and or got the will at the moment to get back into this. Nothing much happening for them at all.
Pretty warm out there. Maybe they've just run their race a little bit and they're starting to feel the heat, Blackie, but it has dropped off. There's no doubt about that. Their chase isn't quite as it was in the first half. As I mentioned, when the Suns have a little turnover or fumble, they're normally onto them, but that has dropped away.
Minute 13 left to play. Ball back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. Heaney tried to combine with Warner and McInerney. Anderson applies the pressure. Rao, quick hands. Weller around the body inside forward 50. Another one coming up for the Suns. Melican full chested. Meta did well, but the Suns have numbers once again. Good tackle late on Graham. We'll have a ball up just outside the forward 50 for the Suns inside the final minute.
And Liam Flanagan, Brad Seymour with you. Inside Richard Champion, Simon Black within the Melon boundary side. Your call team this afternoon as the Suns look to put Sydney to the sword here. Rowell again getting busy. Driving ball to a dangerous spot, Ethan Reid. It was a 2-grab mark in front of Rampy, but he's marked it 30 out directly in front.
It was a good grab. He missed one from a similar spot only probably 6 or 7 minutes ago. And as you mentioned, just a young man, second year. He just needs this for his confidence. So for his sake alone, I hope he slots it through.
There's a good catch too against quality opposition in Rampy. So Ethan Reid with the footy. Walks, turns into a trot. The trot deliberate towards goal. On the siren. And it's a minor score. So the three-quarter time score will be 12-11, 12-12, 84 the Suns, I should say. 9-6, 60 the Swans. A 24-point lead into the final break. Simon Black, Richard Champion with their analysis after this short break. It's thanks to McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks football.
That quarter for Beacon Trade. They've got the downlights, fans and switches. Whatever the project, they've got you covered. Beacon Trade. Let's make light work.
For McDonald's, Triple M rocks Footy Mania. Macca's new McSmart meal is here. Get a cheeseburger, small fries and soft drink, plus your choice of side for just $6.95. T's and C's apply.
Triple M rocks footy in 3.5 minutes. Minutes. 2 minutes. One minute. Thirty seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
It's Triple M's Footy Mania!
This quarter for titanium caravans. Stay off-road and off-grid for longer with a luxurious titanium caravan. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
Three-quarter time. People First Stadium, the sun is shining on the Gold Coast, and the sun is shining on the Gold Coast Suns, who turned a 17-point half-time deficit into a 24-point three-quarter time deficit. A 5 goals to zip quarter has put them in the driver's position for this fourth and final term. A 24-point lead. Simon Black, Richard Champion, Liam Flanagan, Brad Seymour, your call team with Belinda Mellon boundary side. In fact, let's get down to B for Bob Jane team arts. Interesting movement from the Swans at that three-quarter time break, B.
Yeah, Isaac Heaney didn't let his teammates go over and talk to the assistant coaches for about the first 2 minutes. He called them into the middle of the ground and into a huddle and really addressed them really passionately, had a long chat. I think basically saying from the body language that this is not the coach's responsibility, guys. This is up to us. We need to rally first and then we'll go and listen to what they say. But really taking ownership of this game, Isaac Heaney.
Nice work, P, for Bob Jane team arts. They've got great buy three, get one free plus instant cashback deals. Call or shop online today. T's and C's apply.
Spot on. That was one of the biggest dominations for a team this year for a quarter. Would have thought, champs. Some Reds Ed lending stats, some massive ones here for the Gold Coast Suns' favour. Plus 13 in that third quarter to now be 39-37 for inside 50s. Plus 12 for the quarter in clearances. Plus 12 for contested possessions. And they had 8 marks inside 50 for the third quarter alone. Absolute dominations by the Gold Coast Suns, kicking 6 goals, 6 to 1 point. So no doubt, no reason why Isaac Heaney got him in to said it's not about Dean Cox and our coaching group, it's about us, it's a players' game, and that was absolutely crap what we just served up. We need to be far better than that. And the disappointing thing is, they had a great first half, the Swans, but they just let it all go in that third term. That was deplorable.
What they let go was their elite pressure that they had for that first half, Blackie. You're spot on, and that created opportunities for the Suns. Let's see what the last quarter provides.
Intentions one thing, actions are another. For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M Roxbury were back in the middle to begin the final term. That was in the back. Yeah, Humphrey will get a free kick. Heaney just got him high. Humphrey was hungry for it. Been terrific this afternoon. Already got 3 goals on the board. So he'll drive this one deep forward. They fly. Ball gets to the back. Oh, King. They got into each other's way. Spills to Matty Rowell. They've got another one. The Suns, a fast start to the final term. Margin extends to 30 points on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Well, the first half, the centre bounces were all going the Sydney Swans way, but since then, champs, it's all been down the Suns' end. They've been clearing it beautifully, and Matty Rowell, he hadn't had a big afternoon up particularly till half time. He's really started to have a bit more impact, and it's been great to see him this year get a little bit more uncontested ball rather than all that contested footy he's been renowned for. Gets in a really good spot. Nice spin from Benny King, got the handball out to Rowell, and a lovely snap there from 20 metres out.
Oh, you can't keep a good man down, Blackie. He just keeps working at it. He's an absolute bull, we know that, but you're right, this time he was on the end of it rather than getting in under and actually feeding out to his midfielders like he often does. So nice bit of reward there for Matty Rowell.
Ball back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hotwater. Triple M Rocks footy. Hotwater needs replacing. Go for one that's steady, hot and strong. Ask your plumber to install the Ream. 30 points the margin. Can the Swans hit back? They need to desperately as Anderson moves it forward. McInerney gets it to Florent around the body. Row bottom, juggling one-handed mark. Plays on quickly. Goes corridor. Kick a little too hot. Lands in the lap of Dan Rioli. He wants to go and go quickly through the corridor.
He's had a good afternoon too. Rioli and Noble across half-back as the footy's in the hands of the skipper. Through half-back. He'll squeeze it wide to that man Rioli. Rioli's got it centre wing, broadcast side of the ground. They lead it by an even 5 goals, the Suns. They've been terrific since half-time. Runs his full measure. Driving ball towards half-forward. No one can take the mark. Heaney front and square wins it. And he gives it to Jake Lloyd, and Lloyd has turned it over because Collins just marks unopposed at half-forward.
Did some strange things this afternoon, Jake Lloyd. Normally a reliable snapper.
Yeah, he is. So Collins to repel. He'll put the Suns deep into attack again. One for the high flyers. Ball gets to the back. Grundy the one to mop it up, and he just ambles over the boundary line. He's lucky not to get the free kick against. The crowd didn't like it at that end.
Jared Brady up.
And we'll get a throw in.
They've just rushed a couple of their possessions and turned it over in the last couple of minutes, Sydney.
Boundary throw-in. Suns forward 50. Woods just drops it at his feet. No one can take it away, and we'll have a ball up.
Not sure where the spark's going to come from. Is it going to be Isaac Heaney? Is it going to be Chad Warner?
Witts put it in the lap of Matty Rowell. No one could lay a glove on him. Gave it back to Holman. The Suns can do no wrong. And the margin grows to 36 points on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard with Nick Holman's first for the afternoon. 14-12, 96. Plays 9-6-60. The Gold Coast Suns running away with it.
Well, the obvious move for Sydney, I think, is to get Tommy McCartan up into the forward line to try to give them a target, a bigger target to go forward. But conversely, you take him out of a defensive unit that is under the pump at the moment. So can they afford to do that, take a risk? Well, if you're 6 goal down, you throw caution to the wind and you try something. So that won't surprise me if that happens soon.
This is the unpredictable nature of an underperforming team, isn't it? Like they play well in patches. They've got some talent. Their stars stand up for a little while, but they just cannot sustain it. So Sydney in deep trouble here. The Suns by 36 points from McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Suns taking complete control of this one. Rao swivels in the tackle, gives it up to Warner. Rowbottom, a forward handball, but it's all red Guernseys. Rioli, well a by hand, that was slick. Back to Mac Andrew, driving ball towards half forward. Rampy lets it get behind him. Again, it's red jumpers. Jeffrey pushing up the ground towards half forward. Drives it towards King. Oh, it's a 1 against 2. Blakey had to sit as well, and King's marked it. Oh, it's going to be reversed, is it? Oh, that's poor. Oh, no, it's not going to be reversed. But King takes a fine mark, 35 out directly in front.
He's shooting at his 4th now, and he has really turned it on this afternoon. Hasn't had a heap of opportunities, mind you. He's just made the most of all of them.
It's Blakey's bread and butter. Third man up, had to sit and everything, couldn't complete the spoil. So King...
He's on.
He bends late. I think he squeezed it in. Champs. He's got 4. Oh, they are threatening to blow this right apart now. Marching stands at 42 points. 15-12, 102 Suns. 9-6-60 the Swans. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Oh, it's a big question marks over the Sydney Swans here, isn't it? Just considering how good they were for the first quarter and a half of this game, and just the sheer drop-off in their effort and intent, and it's been quite remarkable. Big headaches for Dean Cox and what he's going to have to do to sort of pull this back together again. They were fantastic in that first nearly just about half. They were superb. Clearly the best team on the park, but the drop-off has been unbelievable.
That's 11 goals on the bounce for the Gold Coast Suns. The last one for the Swans came at the 21-minute mark of the second term.
Gee, 11 in a row.
All back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. It's starting in here in the engine room as Rowbottom sends it high. Heaney fought hard for front spot against Yule and won it, but Matt Rao took the footy away from him. Attempted the shrug to tackle. That should be holding the ball. Free kick Swans, centre half forward.
That was the pressure they had in the first half. 2-on-1.
Cleary takes it. Spots up the kick. Squaring ball. Now it's inside forward 50 to McInerney. He has time, but just rushed the kick. Got it to Laddams, who tried to do a blind turn. There was no one to turn. Rioli will clear the kick. It's only going to be momentarily. It's going to land in the lap of Bice.
So Bice can repel. Put Sydney back inside 50 again. They trail it by 42 points. It's been one-way traffic since half-time. He goes towards McLean. Has had no influence on this game. Ball gets to the grass. Heaney set upon. There'll be a stalemate and a ball up 15 out from the Swans' goal. A lot of players around the footy. They have dominated contest and clearance. After half-time, the Suns. Campbell, can he get his foot to it? He can't. Good smother. Comes to the back to Rioli. The quarterback on this occasion blasted outside 50, but Lloyd will mark it. And a chance to repel for Sydney.
Waited for the leads, not one coming. Lockie Weller's going to jump in front, take an easy mark here. Bodie Ullin just bodied Isaac Heaney. And now they want to use the pace of Johnny Noble. Couldn't get past Rowbottom. Quick hands. Corey Warner assesses the options, chooses to shoot it. Goal, out of bounds on the full. Teammates inside asking why, oh why.
So Noble will be the recipient of the free kick. It's a domination now by the home side. It's either Heaney or bust forward of the footy. Had no support at all. But he drives it long towards centre wing. Campbell, a little fumble. Jordan involved. Quick little give to Rampy. On the burn, puts it to a dangerous spot. Going back, McLean can't complete the mark. Rioli's been terrific. Met head on by Heaney. Good tackle, Rioli. And we'll get a ball up 12 metres out from the Swans' goal.
Well, they looked $1 million early. They had 7 marks inside 50 first quarter, but they've had only 1 since their snapper, and they've just got no forwards covered at the kicker. That easy uncontested mark on the lead just hasn't been on because there's no one coming at the kicker.
Ball up, Swans forward 50. The Suns trailed by 17 points at half-time. They've kicked the last 11 goals to lead this one by 42 points. Still got 15 minutes left to play in the final term, starting to become a question of by how much. As they continue their best ever start to the season, the Gold Coast Suns 4-1 coming into this one. Lloyd has it, 55 from home. Just going to drop it to the top of the goal square.
Oh, well read.
Easy intercept mark there for Holman.
Been pretty good this afternoon. He's done it at both ends. Holman liked his work ethic as they advance to the outer side. It's a wide ball in front of Humphrey, and Florence will go out of play. So if they go 5-1, boys, which it looks very likely, a very good start to the season, setting them up well.
I reckon they're going to play finals footy if they win today.
First in 15 years?
Yeah, first in 15 years.
So the ball spins back into play. Ball gets to the back. Is it Wits? The block. It's going Gold Coast way. You heard it in the umpires.
Mike, everything's going their way. You mentioned Nick Holman has been very serviceable today. Snapper. He has started the sub the last 2 weeks. It just makes you a little bit hungrier, when you get your opportunity, and he's done that today.
He's been intense around the footy too. He's hit it hard, been in and under. As they share it, centre wing, is that in the back? It is the Noble. So these two blokes as well, Rioli and Noble, have been terrific. And Noble will be one. He canters away now from centre wing, driving ball towards the pocket. Ball gets to the back. Blakey should mop it up. He does. He'll want his left side. He pulls the trigger on it, and he's got Corey Warner. Broadcast side defensive 50.
Warner has a bounce. Made life difficult as the air seemed to leave Brad Seymour's body.
You handball to a guy forward of the play with his back to the goals. It's not a great option.
Like a cow giving birth. Boundary throw in front of the interchange gates. Witts and Grundy tangle. Witts brings it down to the Rogers direction. Graham got it out to Anderson. Didn't see the pressure coming. Hasn't been Noah Anderson the skipper's best day out. But if they can win when he underperforms, I think Damien Harvick will take it. Swans move it forward. Centre wing. Mac Andrew engages McLean. Jeffrey floated across the front. They've just got numbers everywhere right now. The Suns, and Jeffrey will gallop through the corridor.
Yeah, it's a piercing kick too to Ainsworth. Beautiful kick from Jeffrey. So they've got it through centre half forward. He waits and he waits. He's got a number of options, but he's going to bang it long to the hot spot. They fly, and it's Jake Lloyd. So Blakey did the body work on Reid to keep him out of the contest. The Swans win the ball back at half-back. Roberts, a little low ball to Chad Warner. He can go through the middle of the ground. Looks up, a little dabbing ball to McInerney. He's got him at half forward. McInerney with the footy, wants a runner. He's got Braden Campbell. He'll switch to his left side, drive it towards goal, and he'll hook it. So it'll be a minor score to the Swans. 15-12, 102 Suns, 9-7, 61 Sydney. Margin of 41 points in the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboards. Stay off-road, off-grid for longer with luxurious titanium caravans. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
Swans remain goalless in the second half, and game is underway at the MCG. Geelong with a 5-point lead early stages first quarter over Carlton. 13 plays 8. As the Suns move it around the boundary.
Back to your earlier point.
50 metres. Ben King, is it? He'll go kick at number 5.
Good to see Ben King marking up on the flanks, Blackie.
Yeah, spot on, Snapper. Come up at the kicker, get outside forward 50, come up and get involved. Love seeing that.
I'll stand, It's like Connor Buderick might be warming up on the bench. We'll get down to Belinda soon to see that they may be activating their sub soon.
Another player who will be kept hungry, wanting to be a part of this run on 22.
Especially now they're looking at being 5-1.
So Ben King, he leads the Coleman race with 22 goals thus far this season. 2 clear of Jack Higgins of St Kilda and Josh Tracy from Freo. the Big Kahuna. It's a good nickname.
That's great, isn't it?
Ben King for goal number 23 of the season. Number 5 for the afternoon. He can do no wrong. The king of the coast, Ben King. And the margin is out a game high, 47 points on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Stay off-road and off-grid for longer with a luxurious Titanium Caravan. Visit titaniumcaravan.com.au.
You'd like that, Blackie. You've been saying for a couple of years now you'd love to see Kingy sort of pushing up the ground and leading hard on the footy, and he's doing that, and he's getting rewarded now. But I must admit, he probably didn't have many gaps and much space to do that in the first half, because Sydney's pressure was elite and they're getting back. Now they've just dropped off, they're getting a little tired, and he has got more space in which to work, so it seems to be working well.
Yeah, he's starting to come at the kicker, whether it's inside 50 or out. It's what you want to see as a forward. Easiest piece of play, get your hands on the balls, come at the kicker, uncontested mark, takes work rate, takes anticipation, and he's starting to do that more regularly.
Bob Jane T-Mart's Belinda Mellon.
Champs was right, gentlemen. Jake Rogers is about to exit the field. Connor Butterick, the sub, is coming on. No injury, just tactical, gentlemen.
And Belinda Mellon for Bob Jane T-Marts. We're back underway in the middle. McDonald's and Remont Water Triple M. Rocks footy.
Champs has been right about everything.
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 You sound surprised.
So distributes. That's via Caden Cleary. Out of the middle for Sydney. High ball towards half forward, hanging on. I think it is. Blakey free kick, being pushed forward.
So the Lizard going forward.
Don't want to hear it, Mac.
Don't want to hear it.
And that'll be 50. So Blakey will be marched to the goal line, dribbles it through, goal to the Swans. Their first goal since the 21-minute mark of the second quarter. So margin back to 41 points. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard 16-12, 108 the Suns. They lead the Swans 10-7, 67.
Well, Mac's got to learn, Blackie. Everything's not going to go his way, and he just questioned the umpire's decision then, and I reckon they may have been told before this game, you know what, Mac's been playing up like a second-hand lawnmower. Let's just keep an eye on him, and if he gives a bit of cheek, let's give him a whack. And I reckon that was his whack just then. So he's just got to settle down, play his game, and he'll be a far better player.
Dimmer said in the lead up to the game that he'd rather have to pull Mac back than wind him up to get him going. Is the other part of that, and that's from an aggression standpoint, but is the other factor we just saw there at play the reputation he starts to develop with the match officials?
Absolutely. They're only human, Flanners, so they're going to take it personally. You've just got to learn to grin and bear it.
Ball back in the middle for McDonald's and Remont Water. Triple M Rocks footy. Bailey Humphrey, the boy from Moe. He said he'd love them to build a statue of him. Not much has come out of Moe.
I think that was out in the forward just came off the shins of King. So Sydney to repel. And the defence, they get to reprieve for just a moment. They've been under more scrutiny from the Diversity and Inclusion Officer under the Trump administration this afternoon. They have been under the pump.
One of your best, Snapper.
We'll get a stalemate and a throw up in the middle of the ground. So 108 plays 67. Laddams tries to push it forward. Flanders leaves it behind. McInerney does not. Gives it to Heaney. Heaney a little low ball towards Blakey. Gets over the back. Andrew versus McLean. Andrew clever, athletic. Gives it to Noble. And Noble was caught in a good tackle. We'll have a ball up.
Scores level in the other game going on at the moment. Choice Hotels around the grounds. Collingwood and the Cats 14 points apiece. Curnow and Williams, the goal kickers for the Blues. Dempsey and Stengel for the Cats.
I'm here.
Here it's been a fistful for Ben King. He's got 5. As the Swans will go back. Corey Warner to kick at number 2. He pins the Suns holding the football. Man stands the mark at 45. Get down to Belinda Mellon after Corey has this shot for goal.
Mid-zone switch.
Warner on the runway. Big Bro signed a big contract during the week. Corey starting to come into his own as a football player. The goal, not going to be bothered on that attempt though. Comes to the line. Jeffrey, Andrew. Haywood sees it over the line. Bob J. T-Mart's beat.
So I've never seen this happen before. The Gold Coast Suns have rescinded their sub. They handed the sub card to the AFL, and then Wayne Campbell came back over, took the sub back, Jake Rogers took his vest off. Connor Butterick put it back on, and Jake Rogers is about to come back on the ground. They literally swapped set vests, handed cards, and then took cards back and undid their sub.
Wow.
Never seen it before.
Interesting.
Played the Uno reverse.
Thanks to Bob J.T. Martins, Belinda Mellon this afternoon as the Suns escape D50. They get it wide to half back. Cleverly done by Walter, pushes it forward. That was a heavy hit. That was good stuff from Will Powell. He brought the heat. Long in there also. Roberts. Since half-time, they've been terrific, the home side. Intensity at the contest.
Yeah, they just, once they had a bit of self-belief again, it seemed to have come back. Well, everything seems to have come back to them. This is how we won our first 4 games of the year, boys. Let's get back to that. Now, had he taken the ground, obviously they can't rescind that, but that obviously didn't happen. It's like dropping a ball. If you think you can't find your golf ball and you drop it, it's too late.
Acker style.
Might be a bit late for the Swans here this afternoon too. Will Powell in the grass to Rioli. Starting to open up a bit now. Goes backwards to Noble, who's controlled things off half-back this afternoon, and he squeezes it wide.
That's on 5.
Suns have it left back pocket. Lockie Weller with football in hand. And the good news continues for the Suns, of course, with the return of David Swallow through the VFL side today.
Yeah, that's great.
The vet who would love to taste some finals football.
If anyone deserves it, he does.
Johnny Noble goes all the way back, defensive 50, and finds Mac Andrew. Everything in front of him on People First Stadium. 8.5 still left to play. Great kick, opens up the corridor. Ainsworth marks centre half back, and he has something he likes. Rao going to be made to work for it. Up against 2, Melican did well. Roberts there to help out. Now it's Cleary. Chad Warner, inside forward 50. Blakey's out the back. The Lizard, he's against 2. Can he slip his way to another goal? He can. The Lizard, injured thumb and all, finds a second. And the Swans go back to back and cut the margin to 45 points, 35 points, beg your pardon.
Less than what it was last time.
Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Thank you.
But you know what? Out of a poor performance in the second half of Sydney, at least a positive has come out of it, that the Lizard's now been put forward, and all of a sudden he's grabbed a couple of goals. So for Dean Cox going forward, he's got, okay, I can put Tommy McCartney, I can now got another option of the Lizard going forward. So, you know, at least there's some positivity coming out of this game for Sydney. They're probably going to lose the game, but that is something to take out.
Yeah, put that goal down to Chad Warner though, champs. Great penetrating kick, got the penetration over the back and allowed the Lizard really just to mop it up and kick an easy goal. But yeah, it's good to see him able to go forward.
Simon Black, it's a champion. Triple M Super this afternoon. Super making hard work pay off since 1984. So we get a rebound. Oh, no, they'll throw it up. Laddams, another whistle on play.
Goal square breach. Free kick Sydney. Free kick Sydney. Goal square breach.
Goal square breach.
Goal square breach. Back to the ruckman. Back to the ruckman now.
Jed Walter did something to Lewis Melican down the far end of the ground.
Stand. Play on.
Swan send it inside forward 50. Oh,
Here it is. It's on fire.
The Lizard getting loose. Basking in the afternoon sun is the Lizard here. He's got 2.
That's where he gets their energy from.
That's right. What else do you know about lizards, Jeff?
I haven't been wrong on too many occasions. That's where they get the energy. That's why snakes lay in the sun, mate.
David Attenborough on the Seabus Super Special comments this afternoon. Richard Champion. The Lizard.
Look at him.
This is easy.
He's got 3.
Shell and peace.
Should have been playing up forward the whole time.
As Snapper would say, straight as frozen rope.
There we go. 29 points the margin. Good crowd in attendance here on the Gold Coast. 18,034. That's a big number for the Suns as they continue to grow support locally. The Swans have done their part with some travelling fans as well. 29 points the margin. The Lizards got 3. Let's get down to Belinda Mellon and Bob Jane teammates.
Deja vu down here on the boundary. The Gold Coast Suns have played their sub. Connor Butterick comes into the game and Jake Rogers comes off.
Thanks, B, for Bob Jane teammates. They've got great buy 3, get 1 free. Instant cashback deals. Call or shop online today. T's and C's apply. So margin back to 29 points. The Titanium Caravan scoreboard, and we do it all with thanks to McDonald's. Marine hot water this afternoon. Good bounce. Wits again wins this forward. Chad Warner, scrubby little kick, but it doesn't escape the mess that is in the middle of the ground. Little handball from Powell, left Miller behind, coming through Laddams, lost his feet. Rowell will just hack it towards half forward. Bouncing ball, awkward, comes to Francis, quick little give, Heaney involved. He gets it to Lloyd. Lloyd's putting a good tackle. It spills back to the Suns, and they can attack from forward 50 now. Good tackle. Umpire surely to blow the whistle. He does now. And we'll have a ball up at forward 50 for the Suns. 16-12, 108 the Suns. They lead the Swans 12-7-79.
Warner with the quick kick away. Richard Champion spotting something he needs corrected. Hasn't got anything wrong today.
So Ainsworth's been taken out of the game. Yes, not Jakey Rogers.
Belinda Mellon, Bob Jane teammates.
Jakey Rogers at half forward.
He's doing well for a sub. Joel Jeffrey to send it deep. Inside forward 50. Witts leans on the pack. Falls forward, row bottom. The handball was not a good one. Made life difficult. Roberts improved the situation, then dropped the football. Here come the Suns. Flanders, quick hands. There's it. Oh no, Heaney's down in back play.
Yep.
That could be salt into the wounds as Flanders with a quick snap. It's going towards the goal square. Walter got free of his man. Couldn't take the mark though. All this happening in the goal square for the Suns. Reprieve as Laddam takes the chest mark. Isaac Heaney is hobbling.
He was cool in a crisis then, Riley Bice, wasn't he? Sydney looked to exit, but the exit kicker was a ruckman. That's not usually good policy. A forward little handball looking for Blakey. Jeffrey cuts it off. Rides the tackle, did well. Butterick now a chance. Runs to centre wing. Drives it long. He was hit late by Haywood. It'll be a free kick down the ground. And a free kick going to King, is it? I think it is.
Just hold on. We've got to play it down in the square. Just play it down in the square, Birchie.
Play it down in the square.
The Suns player.
He's got cramp.
So Ethan Reid will take the free kick. He'll kick from 35 out. So there's a little bit of angle about it.
Heaney's just a cork snapper.
Yeah, just got clobbered as he did that. He won that ground ball. It's been a hard afternoon for the stand-in skipper. So time back on now. Good to see Jed Walter up and about. But Ethan Reid with the footy. This is a bit of a fiddly one from that pocket. Flanners. It's hard to steer at home. He sets it out to the left-hand goal post. It doesn't blow back. And it'll be a minor score to Ethan Reid. He's had a few shots at goal.
3 points.
3 behinds. It's Richard Champion on Triple M Super special comments this afternoon. Margin stands at an even 5 goals.
It was a very sharp Took Miller knee that drove into Isaac Heaney's buttocks. Triple M Harvey Norman replay. Harvey Norman April super deals. Shop TVs, vacuums, laptops, mobiles, furniture, betting and more in store and online. Harvey Norman April super deals. Best prices guaranteed.
Triple MVP awards that Black will be choosing will be tough this afternoon.
Well, we are into what we call the black zone, where Simon Black stops talking. Every game, we get to this stage of the game and Simon Black shuts up shop.
You think he's gone to the toilet?
He fair dinkum disappears.
It's pondering snapper.
Because he
like it, Blackie.
Starts
bit of wisdom. Bit of wisdom.
Pouring over the numbers. And so
they just turn his mic off.
Champs just has to do everything.
That's 05.
Because Simon Black stops contributing on the specials because he's going to work on the votes as the Swans go to the outer
It's an
side.
important job.
Never got it wrong, Flanners, once.
They advance in the sunshine. Riley Bice and a little jabbing ball to McInerney as they continue to run. High ball shows too much of it to Will Powell. Cuts it off. A wobbly little ball to Rogers. Rogers can run. Centre wing. Miller rides shotgun. Forward handball. Holman's with him. Back to Rogers. He's inside 50 now. He keeps his hands free. Handball back to Holman. Now Nettie Flanders. A chance from 55. Sets the footy up high. King. 1-2. Spills to Humphrey. Humphrey's got 4. Margin back to 36 points. It's been a procession since half-time. A domination by the home side. 17-13, 115. Sydney 12-7-79 on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Oh, let me have this one, champs. He's been superb. He's been fantastic. He's going to, no doubt, be in the votes, I would have thought. We'll wait a few minutes, but that's his 4th goal, as you said. So, Snapper, he's just been a power through the middle of the ground and up forward today. Get into really good spots. When the ball hits the pack, He's not on the side. He's front and centre where a good rover should be, and he's hit the scoreboard, been rewarded. And keep talking about the size that he's got now, the big legs and buttocks. He's going to be a real powerful midfielder for the next 10 or 12 years, and he can go forward and be damaging like he has today. A real good player.
Yeah, spot on, Blackie. It's all about positioning. Play your role, know your role. He didn't fly for the footy. He looked at the flight coming in, front and centre, dropped down to him, kicked the goal.
Still not a career best. Kicked 5 in round 10 against Geelong last year.
Here we go.
But here they come again, the Suns from the middle. Tuke Miller, a pass off radar, intercepted by Aaron Francis, who looks to have been moved back with the direct switch with the Lizard. Blake. Down the corridor they go. Warner takes it on. Hits up McLean at centre half forward. Got it on the bump, said the umpire. Bump ball inside forward 50, just too hot. And Powell took the game on. And just faked Nick Blakey out of it. Now he opens up the corridor. Lockie Weller got over his head, got through Matty Roberts. It's turning into an ugly last 3 minutes or so, but the Swans will have the free kick. Matty Roberts inside forward 50 once more. The Lizard, and McLean couldn't bring it down. Hewlin, with time to assess, he'll go back to Johnny Noble.
Yeah, good man to give it to. So often the quarterback, him and Rioli, they share it back to Hewlin. And he just blasts it out of D50. Milliken didn't read it all that well, got to the back. Pushing it forward was Holman, worked feverishly this afternoon, tries to hold it in, he does. The cavalry arrive in aid of Weller. Weller gives it to Rogers. Rogers one bounce. Rogers two bounces. Oh, went with a little low pass. And Rowbottom cut it off at half-back.
Chad Warner just took off, but he took off straight into the heart of the Suns' mids. Goes over the top, Roberts. Oh, he's kicked it into Lockie Weller. These players just want to call time now. The result's done. They've run out of puff. Tuke Miller inside forward 50. Over the back to Ben Long. Francis missed it. If Longy can pick it up clean. Snap. Behind.
First miss.
90 seconds left. 1:15 plays 79. The Suns will win game number 5 as we just see Triple M Harvey Norman replay. James Rowbottom with a big head knock, champs.
Yeah, it was almost friendly fire, I think, from Warner coming through, so we'll keep an eye on him.
How do you assess this 2025 Sydney outfit, champs? I mean, this is a team that's played in 2 of the last 3 grand finals. They seem to be a shadow of them for themselves.
Yeah, they show glimpses, Snapper, like they did in the first half, and they have during games this year so far. I think they've got it, but they just can't sustain it for 4 quarters at the moment. They've still got a few injuries, they've still got a few to come back, so I don't think it's all lost as yet, but they need some improvement, and just to be able to sustain the pressure they had. They were a lead in the first half, but it's dropped away big time.
It's going to be 2 and 5 from here, so it's a big ask from here going forward.
He's facing some serious headwinds. Corey Warner out of the pack, and he'll be cut off by Will Powell, has been terrific as well. Defensive fist, Lovey's style, spills to the front. Warner has to release, but again the Suns have the numbers. Rioli involved, goes backwards with Flanders and then Hewland, and he switches play to Butterick on the near side, and they can gallop away. They do now. McAndrews made good positioning, and he'll hold it up. No, he's got Butterick, who demanded the footy off half-back. A lazy 2 bounces. He's got players making good position at half-forward. One of them's Humphrey. Can't complete the mark. Steps out, gives it to Miller. Miller to put some icing on the cake. Misses narrow side. Margin stands at 38 points. 17-16. 118 to 12-7-79. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
And the siren will sound on win number 5 for the Gold Coast Suns. 17-15, 117. They triumph over the Sydney Swans 12-7-79. Big win for the Gold Coast Suns, who started slow, but in the end they got the result they wanted. They moved to 5-1, and the Sydney Swans are left to wonder just what the rest of 2025 will hold for them. Being told by the boys in the back we've got to wrap things up with some urgency here. This is the Triple M Amy review. Clangers happen. Lucky you're with Amy. We are almost done here for round 7, the Anzac Appeal round. Macca's new McSmart meal is here. Get a cheeseburger, small fries and soft drink plus your choice of side for just $6.95. T's and C's do apply. Simon Black, the Triple M MVP award. You've been thinking hard. Give us the votes.
The one vote's going to go to Benny King. Had a great day up front, kicking the 5 goals. He was instrumental for his side, particularly in the start of the second half. Rioli gets 2 votes here, 21 touches, 4 tackles, 420 metres gained, 2 goals off half back. His run and drive was fantastic, and the 3 votes is going to go to Bailey Humphries. 18 touches, 12 contested possessions, 5 inside 50s and 4 goals. I thought he was probably the best out there for the Suns.
Johnny Noble stiff, I reckon.
Very.
This is the Triple M Amy review. Clangers happen. Lucky you're with Amy. Macca's I'm loving it moment. Today's I'm loving it moment happened in the 3rd term, and this is how we called it on Triple M footy.
Just a mongrel to centre half forward. Bailey Humphrey held front spot, won the free kick. Gets the footy, open 50, Ben Long darting into space. Jake Rogers near side. Bailey Humphrey says, don't worry, boys. I've got this! Bailey Humphrey just burst the Sherrin from 60. He's got 3, and the margin is now 15 points in favour of the home side. Yeah, it was a big day out for the boy from Maui. They're talking about building a statue for him, and if he keeps playing like that, it'll be a bloody big statue, Simon Black. Richard Champion, you've been outstanding. 0 mistakes from you today. Probably one of your
0.
Lucky to be left out of the votes as far as I'm concerned.
Thanks, boys.
And we Choice Hotels around the grounds. Quickly, we've got an update. The Blues taking on the Cats. Quarter time there. Snap.
Yeah, the Blues by a point. 3-3 to 3-2.
Choice Hotels gets you more for your money, so you can check in to more. Get the lowest prices guaranteed when you book direct at choicehotels.com. Be down on the boundary for Bob James, Tim and Gareth and the boys in the back. Vinny back in the studio, his hands at the controls. Simon Blake, Richard Champion, Liam Flanagan and Brad Seymour. That was your call team for what turned into a 38-point win for the Gold Coast Suns over the Sydney Swans for round 7. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy.
That quarter for Titanium Caravans. Stay off-road and off-grid for longer with a luxurious Titanium Caravan. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
For Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks.
Footy Mania.
Hot water needs replacing? Go for one that's steady, hot and strong. Ask your plumber to install a Ream.
Triple M rocks footy in 3.5 minutes. Minutes. 2 minutes. 1 minute. Seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
'Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
It's Triple M's
Footy Mania! This quarter for Beacon Trade, they've got the downlights, fans and switches. Whatever the project, they've got you covered. Beacon Trade, let's make light work.
Ah, yes, Marvel Stadium, round 7 to finish off round 7, the Anzac Day weekend round of matches. It's the Hawks, the home side, up against the visiting West Coast Eagles. A beautiful day here in Melbourne, a little bit overcast, but a day ready for footy, no doubt about it. The Hawks 4-2, they've lost their last two, and the Eagles, of course, without a win on the board as yet. But looking forward to seeing what they can do into the evening. Barry Denner with you, as always, surrounded by some of the biggest names in football. And why wouldn't they be? Because they're on Triple M footy. This man, 264, 3 premierships for the Brisbane Lions, 2 All-Australians. There's a list that goes on and on and on. Chris Johnson, good afternoon.
G'day, Baz. Good to be here. Just really interesting to see how Hawthorn react from last week. They were pretty ordinary against Geelong, especially their back 6 or 7. They just really struggled with the inside forward 50. So looking forward to see how they've adjusted over the week.
63-game Tiger is with us, of course, a Victorian state representative and one of the most travelled people in the world. Hosco, Sarah Hosking, good afternoon to you.
Thank you, Baz. It is an absolute pleasure to be here. There is nowhere else I would rather be on my Sunday afternoon. It took me about 5-10 minutes to get in here today, which is fantastic.
What about the Maldives or something?
Have you moved closer, Hosco?
I have. I'm now in South Yarra, so
beautiful.
not too, lovely part of Melbourne. And I can see Hev's just got the ching-ching hands going right now. But yes, wonderful part of the world here in Melbourne. But tonight it is, we are hoping...
So public transport you got here then? You didn't drive?
I can't even take that seriously. No, do you know, I've done my time on trains and public transport at the moment, but we do have a beautiful transport system. I believe is what I've heard.
Should have seen. I first walked in. I seen Sarah here. I was going up the stairs. She was jumping in the lift, and I jumped in the lift with her. So she was going the easy option. She was.
Yeah, no, you followed her all the way here, Jono. That's called stalking.
If I could swear on air, I would right now, Jono.
Hasn't stopped you in the past.
It was bullshit.
Of course,
sorry, bosses in the building somewhere.
The one that's really looking after us today, and he's here. You mentioned him, Jack Heron. He's the biggest thing to hit the media since Rupert Murdoch. And I've heard on the grapevine, he's on such a roll at the moment that he's on the possible list for the next Pope.
Oh, right. There you go.
That's it, Jack. Please, you are just fine.
I have to apologise because I think I just spat cookie on you. Of all of your intros, that's top shelf. But I look around this box, and it is a little bit self-indulgent, but who cares? I look around this box, and if I could be anyone, I would be a combination of all three of you.
That's lovely.
Jono's got one of the best resumes in footy. Also one of the toughest blokes I've ever met in my life. I wouldn't mess with him. Baz, you're retired. You just live this life of luxury now. You just do whatever you want. Yeah. And Hosco drives a really nice car, flies all over the country, has more velocity points than any person that you've ever known. Now lives in South Yarra,
and sits in all the lounges too, by the way.
How totally inadequate do I feel next to you three?
Yeah. So. It's easy with Hosco. So someone says, "Where's Hosco?" I used to say down the beach.
Down the beach,
somewhere on the coast of Australia.
On a plane.
Anywhere. On the beach.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to it.
No, so am I.
I'm meaningless today, but I'm looking forward to it.
No, you're not. You are huge. This is Triple M Footy Prime Time for Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. Air Conditioners Australia. Put your trust in the experts in air. We're going to hear from Luke Webster very shortly, the assistant coach from the West Coast Eagles. In fact, we can go down there now, I think. And, of course, for Triple M Footy this afternoon, for Bob Jane T-Marts, one of the greatest basketballs. He's a basketball legend.
Well, so he says.
Yeah, he tells us every week. Peter Hurley, good afternoon.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, got Luke Webster with me. Thank you so much for your time. Obviously didn't come away with the 4 points last week, but a much more improved performance everywhere. Reviewing that game, what impressed you the most?
Oh, look, I thought our defence was really good. We probably struggled in that area over the first couple of rounds, and I thought we started to work together a little bit better and defend the ball and get the ball played in our front half, which gave us some opportunities to score. So disappointing not to get the result, but there was a lot to like about it.
Now, you're a bit out of breath here, and I can see you sprinted the entire length to be able to make this, but we know that the Hawks coming off 2 losses as well, probably going to try and set a tone early. What do you want to see in this first quarter?
Oh, look, I think the boys in and around the contest, we want them cracking in. Like anyone, you want to get the game played in your front half, so can the mids get on top in that area and really dominate, get it in the front half, and then we can lock it in behind it. But we know that Hawthorn are a quality team, and the footy that they played last year, they've seen glimpses of that this year, and we just got to really try and take it up to them as much as we can.
And Luke, it's Sarah Hosking upstairs here. You mentioned some of the mids, and looking around at stoppages, probably one of the weaker areas at the moment that you have identified the last few weeks. Is there anything in particular that we can look for and see tonight? Roll through Harley Reid, obviously centre bounces, and anything that you're going to take out as a key?
Yeah, certainly. We want to try and get our best ball winners around the ball. So Harley will go back into the midfield and do his centre bounce stuff, and then maybe flip forward or flip back like we have been doing. So we need him to really stand up. But obviously, the guys that are in there, they're young and raw and inexperienced at the moment, but they're just looking to gel together and work really hard with Flinny in there, and hopefully he gives them a good look.
Lukey, Chris Johnson, mate, thanks for joining us. But I guess your forward line with Waterman, Allen and Liam Ryan down there, you just haven't been able to get first use to them or give it a lot of supply to them. How important is that today? Because they're certainly 3 good forwards that have been outstanding over the last few years.
Yeah, they certainly are. Obviously, getting Oscar back in gives us another good target to tick to, and as you mentioned, we probably haven't been great at the supply battle, and it was a little bit better last week, which is great, but we've got to get it in there more often than we can and allow those guys to get to work. We've got good aerial power and aerial dominance down there, but as you mentioned, you've got Liam who can do it in the air and at the ground level too, so hopefully we can see that tonight.
And we know you're a developing side, and look, it hasn't been a great start to the year. You've only won 2 quarters of the year, and you're sort of averaging around 111 points against. What are some of the key objectives for your back 6 or your back 7 or your back 8 that are going to float there because you look after them?
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's about how can they set up the guys in front of them so the ball doesn't get down there as much. But then it's obviously once it does, we've really struggled, unfortunately, with the supply against and giving up a heap of marks inside 50. We were much better last week. I think we only had 12 marks inside 50 last week. We've been averaging about 25. So our ability to cut down that as much as possible and fight and scrap as much as they can to get the ball to ground and then win that ground ball and then slingshot back the other way is going to be really important.
And now it'd be a little bit cheeky of me not to ask the question, but you've got Oscar Allen coming back into the side today, and I guess there was a little bit of media hype around the last few weeks of a meeting with Sam Mitchell across the weeks. Now, was this used at all? Obviously football clubs do a great job of making light-hearted note about it, but is it a little bit of ammunition for him to have a great game today?
Oh, Oscar's got great pride in what he wants to do and what he wants to achieve at this footy club, and we didn't really use it in any way for a tactic or a motivator. He just knows that he wants to get to work and play his best footy for our club and lead the guys in the right way, and hopefully we'll see that this afternoon.
Hey Luke, all the best for this afternoon. Now you've got to get back down the room, so I appreciate your time on Triple M Footy.
No worries, thanks a lot for having me.